Woo! What's going on, everybody? Orum's Forum. Welcome to Mark Orum's Forum. We're going in the den today, Orum's Den. And I haven't done a video in a few days. It's been like 4 or 5 days, you know. And I haven't done a podcast live in a while. It feels like it's been poof. It's had to be 3-4 weeks, man. Maybe a month. Yeah, a month, 4 weeks for sure. The videos are coming, guys. I've been a little bit stagnant on those the past 2 weeks, couple weeks. I've only pumped out maybe 2 or 3 videos in the last couple weeks. Don't. I'm that type of YouTuber that I know you're supposed to pump out. You're supposed to pump out videos all the time. You're supposed to pump out videos all the time to get that algorithm going, to get your channel going out, and for everyone to see and subscribe. But I don't do videos every day because I have my reasons for that, and I just don't want to pump out just same old garbage day in and day out. And I'm not attacking any YouTubers here or nothing like that, but there's guys that that pump out the same drivel over and over again. And I just don't want to be that guy. I really want to talk about something. Then I'll put pen to paper. I'll do my research, and I'm going to do a video on this particular subject, player, coach, situation, just whatever pops up, right? And and then I'll do my videos. But I know I should be doing them every day, and eventually I probably will. It's a little bit stale, I think, for me right now. And what's going on in Detroit, OTAs are starting to come about. The training camp's right around the corner. We got another mini camp coming. So I do actually have a video that I'm probably going to put out either today after this. Yeah, it should be today. I should be putting it out. It's about OTAs, and we can talk about OTAs right now, man. We can do that. But I just want to put out good content. Even though my content's very raw. I don't do a lot of cinematics, cinematography, images, all that stuff, and that's great that other people do that. But mine's kind of just a little bit raw. Me literally sitting behind my bar over here, man, just talking, just like we're having a pop, man. And I've explained that 1,000 times, and I hope everyone's cool with that. But the videos will be coming. But I appreciate you guys for hanging in there and still subscribing to my channel, man. I won't disappoint. But I want to say thanks, everybody. I don't really even expect it. I wanted to do this yesterday. I was at work. I was like, okay, I want to do a podcast. I haven't done one in a bit, man. I haven't had time. So let's do one. And then I put it out on Facebook. I'm like, I want to do a podcast. Who wants to join? I actually wanted to do a group effort. But then my wife texts me and goes, what'd you do? Did you forget that we had plans? I'm like, oh man, completely forgot that I had dinner arrangements with my wife and my friends, the Kavanaughs, Greg and Carrie, close friends of ours. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot. And then maybe I'll do it on Sunday. So I'm here Sunday, guys. And I know it's Memorial Weekend too, and happy Memorial Day to all my American friends and subs. I appreciate it, man. But let's say hi to some people in the chat. Talking Detroit, what's up? One love, bud. Looking good. Thanks, brother. Let's get it. Roy Boy, our San Francisco guy. What's going on, brother? How you doing? What's good? Ubaldo Barragan. What's going on? John Doe in the building. We're going to the division, the playoffs, Mark. Which one? We're definitely going to the playoffs, bro. And I'll get back to that question, though. Hey, Wayne Shirk. Happy Memorial Day, my friend. Hope you guys are having a good barbecue. I'm sure you guys are all barbecuing out there. What are you guys eating today? Justin May, the rapper. This guy's a legit, obsessed Lions fan up here from Rochester Hills, Michigan. Go Lions, win us the Super Bowl for the day I die. Won pride and restore that roar. Thanks, Justin May. So good, brother. Not much happening right now. Yeah, it's just a little, it's dragging a bit. OTAs, we're kind of. We only really got one day of OTAs that we heard about. There's 3 days of camp. It was 3 days of short OTAs, mini camp, whatever we're going to call these things now. And we only got one day on the Thursday. And I'll talk about that in a bit. and I'll talk about it in my video that I'm going to upload in probably a couple hours. So, yeah, man, I saw we signed a guy from Seahawks and LA Rams. Signed a guy who from the Seahawks and the Rams, LA Rams. Who's that, bro? You talking about the O lineman? That O lineman? Forget his name that we signed. The kid Herman Ifietti, if I'm saying his name right, the offensive tackle / guard, him and LA Rams. I'm not sure you're talking about. You're talking about that international guy, the international offensive lineman. I don't remember that guy's name. Keep it real, no need to explain. Thank you, sir. You know, sometimes I gotta explain it, man, because people ask me, Mark, man, why aren't you putting out videos every day? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and to be honest, I should be. I really should be. It's just that I just don't want to be boring. I just don't want to be boring and say the same shit every day. But it helps my channel when you do. When I do, man, it really does. And when I don't put out videos, it kind of hurts my channel. I'll lose a couple subs here and there. Nothing to the point where I need to just stop doing stuff. But yeah, man, that's what happens. I'll be going to the Lions training camp on August 4th on Friday. That's the free day. Awesome, bro. I'm gonna try to get out there this year. I don't know. Perry Ball, what's up? Hey, how are you doing? I'm doing good, pretty good, man. Hopefully you are too. Detroit fan, man. Woo! What's going on, my friend? John Doe, man. You should be on the Lions team, all around fan. Hey, man. I wish I was on that team. Howdy, folks. Brent DeWitt in the building. Thank you, sir. Soul Surfer. Hey, brother. We don't need you to read someone's articles online like some sites. It's a slow season. And you'll be busy enough in a couple of months. Yeah, but like I'll be honest with you, man. Like when I do my info, I'm getting it off. What's it called, online? I'm getting it online. I'm not reading word for word, but I'm not going to make up my own stuff either. If I'm not there, that's the best I could do. Getting stuff from guys like Jeff Risdon, Jeremy Reisman, Eric Schlitt, those guys, man. You know what I mean? John Macaron. Those guys all do fantastic job of putting out stuff because those guys are insiders, man. They're Lions journalists. They get to go to practice when they're allowed to go, and that's who I get my info from. So, yeah, man. Tigers are a talk these days. Yeah, man, what's going on, Tony C? They're playing good baseball. It's still not a good baseball team, though. It's still not a baseball team, but they have a chance to win that terrible division, the American League Central. So, I think anybody who goes in the playoffs in that division is going to get embarrassed. But you know what, man? They're a tough, gritty team. They are. They're a tough, gritty team that lacks a lot of talent, but they got a ton of heart. They have a ton of heart, man. And you can't really fault them for that, right? You can't fault them for that. It's a good thing. They can get a couple players around them eventually. You get Scooble back, get Mize back. Hopefully Mize becomes something. They can get a couple more bats. Then you never know. They got some guys in the minors waiting. Carpenter can come back soon. They got that Malloy kid. That's hitting really well, and I think AA or AAA. So they got some bats, man. They got some guys down there, but they're still a team that's not a good. It's not a good division, man. It's just terrible. But they did have a nice win today. Come back. Don't get me wrong, the Lions, but the hard truth hurts us. But we need to accept it. Yeah, man. Hey, I'm gonna do my best to report what I can. Chrome, what's up? Woo! I saw it on Instagram. Nice. Herman Ifetti. Yeah. A good depth piece. Guys that got a lot of, I think he started 30 or 40 games in the NFL. A guard, tackle. He's played everywhere. He's played on a couple different organizations, Chicago, Seattle. Who else did he play for? I feel like he played for another team, but I know for sure Seattle and Chicago. Dan Spanos, what's going on, Dano? I heard there was going to be a football psychic in this live. That's me. I'm not football psychic. Hey, man, I was pretty damn close, Dano. I was pretty close in that, man. I said it was name the three DBs. The three DBs on our team that are just labeled DBs and not cornerback, not a safety. And who did I say? I said Brian Branch. That was obvious because he was in the picture. That was pretty obvious too, though. And then C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Then I guessed. I think I said, "Damn, who did I say?" I Fiedo Malafonwu. He's a corner one day, he's a safety the next. You don't know what the heck this guy's going to be playing. But I guess the answer was Savion Smith from Alabama, who I forgot played cornerback and DB too as well at the pro level. What's going on, Gary Kissinger? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it, Gary. Hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully everyone's having a great Sunday, man. You know, we're having a good time here. Decided to do um, a live stream for Sunday. Like I said, I don't expect much in this chat. It is Memorial Day in the US of A. And hopefully everyone's having a good barbecue, hanging out with family right now, having some beers because you guys don't got to work tomorrow. I got to work, so it's all good. True Lions fans will not let you go. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it, brother. I don't, and I just don't, I'm not going anywhere. Just, I just get in these little bit of these lulls sometimes where I don't want to report every single thing. Like, is Jared Goff taking a shit, or is what's like, what can I say? What's Marvin Jones? Is Marvin Jones singing songs in the shower? Just that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hit those OTAs. That's for damn sure. Stuff popping up on my thing. LOL, Dan Spanos. That O-line is a cam body and a kick the tires. Yeah, man. That kid's he's probably depth. He's probably I'm assuming he's probably gonna win the backup, one of the backup tackle guard spots. He's versatile. And that kicks maybe Matt Nelson out the door. Matt Nelson is really bad. Fietti's no different. He's not anything special, but I think he probably has a good chance to beat out Nelson. He does have a lot of penalties under his resume. Just can't. Oh yeah. Cooking these cheeseburgers on a grill right now. Hey man, I cooked cheeseburgers today. I cooked cheeseburgers and hot dogs today, man, for my family, and it was all good, man. Hopefully you guys, man, are having a good Sunday. We just wrapped up. Like I said, we just wrapped up OTAs pretty much, right? I believe it was a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The media was only available to watch practice on the Thursday. We got some little snippets, some clips of what was going on during the Tuesday, Wednesday practice. Wasn't much though. He saw J-Mo running around. He saw the guys running around. Didn't get a lot. Didn't really get too much going. I didn't really hear too much about Aiden Hutchinson. Didn't hear a lot about Gibbs. He did practice though. He did come back to practice. Brian Branch was practicing. Martin was practicing. Those guys got a little bit banged up during that first OTA. Martin with the brace on his elbow, and then they had Gibbs with the ankle, and then they had what was his name too? Got hurt. Who'd I just say, man? Gibbs, Martin, and Brian Branch. Didn't say much about Brian Branch's injury, but it looks like they all came back and they were all good to go, and they're all firing on all cylinders. So we like seeing that too. Yeah, OTA, no pads, nothing, man. No pads, just helmets, just in their helmets and their shorts and their jerseys. Got the name tags going on here. It's just quick OTAs, a 3-dayer, no hitting at all. I think the next one they do too, there's no hitting. I'm pretty sure they got one coming up, I believe, soon. I don't know if it's coming Monday, Tuesday. Don't really know, but there's one coming. There's another one coming, and there's no hitting there either. So it's just, they're just going to be doing, going through the motions, implementing schemes, a lot of meetings. You're just going to see the guys, they're just getting used to each other. Jared Goff's getting used to his receivers and his tight ends. The old line's trying to get the gel going again, trying to get that unity thing going. Just everyone's just trying to get to know each other, man. And that's basically what OTAs are, man. They're just football's back. And you're just getting the mix. You're just working out all the kinks, man. You just work out the kinks here. You're taking the rust off, taking that rust off. Some pundits are saying the Lions are a top target for Hopkins. I personally think it's all rumors. I got mixed emotions on the Hopkins thing. He's going to be a lot of money for one. The money thing I don't have an issue about. I don't even care because it's not my money, obviously. But he was making like $20-something million for Arizona. he won't be probably getting that again. He'll be getting something within 15 to 20 range though. It is my guess, and I'm hearing that Detroit did inquire about him. They did their homework on him, whatever that means. however homework they were trying to do. Not really too sure what type of homework you need to do on DeAndre Hopkins. Tape speaks for itself, but there is some things to DeAndre Hopkins that probably like some fans might not think about, man. He's been a known diva in the NFL. If you want to call him a cancer, you call him a cancer. He's thrown guys under the bus apparently, in a couple of teams he's been on in Houston, Arizona. It's cancer is kind of it's kind of the 4-letter word though when you use that word, but he's the type of guy that they say he's not a good teammate. He's just not a good teammate. He's not a good locker room guy. He's a me first guy. Wants the ball constantly. I don't have a problem with people wanting the ball more, but there's going to be a lot of targets on this team. Like St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Marvin Jones, Sam Laporta, Gibbs, Montgomery out of the backfield. There's a lot of balls going around. And if Hopkins comes here, does he complain? Does he bitch about it? No. I think the player is great. He's a Hall of Fame player. I'm not gonna cry if we sign him, but there's things that you got to think about in the back of your mind. I'm just trying to keep it as real as I can. He's a guy that's complained about usage in the past. He's thrown his OCs, his quarterbacks under the bus. This is what he's done. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's just kind of a diva wide receiver, kind of a low-key diva wide receiver. You don't hear much. You don't hear him about him being like a T.O. or an OBJ, Antonio Brown. But he apparently has been not a very good teammate in the past. I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know the man personally. I don't really. I've heard a few things over the years about his style of play, and about he kind of whines and stuff when he doesn't get the football. But he is a Hall of Fame player. He adding to this offense would be pretty crazy. But would he be able to accept taking 3 catches over St. Brown getting 7 or 8? I don't game as long as we win. So I don't know, man. I guess there's things to think about. Maybe I'm thinking about it too much, but that's just the way it is. With Lions' new defensive backfield, this should add to more sacks. Hutch and Gang, don't you think? Yeah, I think Hutch is getting 15 sacks. He should have had double-digit sacks last year. He left about 2 or 3 easy ones on the field last year where he just overran quarterbacks. And that's on him. Just being a gunned up kid, playing a little bit out of control, which he did. He played a little bit out of control at times, with his hair caught on fire, and ended up still having 9.5 sacks, man. So I think he's easily getting 13 to 15. I've been calling 15 for a while. I think he's going to get it. No pads. How do you feel about our defense? I think we can be a 13 to 17 defense. I like what our defense is on paper right now. There's nothing saying that our defense isn't going to be good. I don't see how we can get any worse. Like, we can't get any worse. This is a defense that should be within the top 20. They should be in top 20. I'm thinking range 15 to 20. Maybe it could be even better. Could it be 12 to 20? I love what they did with the secondary, bringing in those guys, Gardner Johnson, Emmanuel Mosley, Cameron Sutton, bringing in those type of guys, drafting Brian Branch, bringing in a Dre Bly as a coach. Aaron Glenn had those boys rolling at the last 8 to 10 games of the year. We were playing at a top 10 to 15 level at the end of the year last year. Where that came from, not really sure. It's the same personnel, pretty much the same guys you brought in. James Houston came in late. They fired Aubrey Pleasant. It just takes 1 or 2 different moves, and all of a sudden you're a 28th, 29th ranked defense, and you shot up all the way to the top 10, 15. It's just, in the long run though, we were a dog doo-doo defense. And I try to explain this to a lot of people, man. I get in arguments with people about this all the time, Lions fans. I got into it with this guy, man, the other day who thought, he said 1 and 6 didn't exist. I'm like, well, our defense was horrific. Our defense was really, really bad, man. And I go, Aaron Glenn can't let that happen again. He can't let that happen again. And then this guy thought I was being racist because I said that it was Aaron Glenn's defense. So I'm like, Well, whose freaking defense is it, man? I don't care what color this guy is or that guy is. All I said was Aaron Glenn's defense can't start off slow again. It can't, or he needs to be gone. It's just that simple. He can't do what he did in 2021. There was your free pass. And then 2022, you started off horrifically and you started playing much better down the road. That's how you got to start 2023. It just has to. If he doesn't, he's got to go. You know, I think he was this close to being fired anyways. And I think Dan Campbell was looking for an excuse to get rid of somebody. He's had a couple mulligans already. You got rid of Anthony Lynn and you got rid of Aubrey Pleasant. I'm not sure if you're going to get a third firing. I'm not really sure. You might if you're winning and there's one area of your team that's not doing well. But you don't get too many firings as a head coach until you're fired yourself. So I want Aaron Glenn to just be nothing but successful here. But I like our defense. Just can't start off slow. And that it worries me a little bit. Don't you think Hopkins would be too much money? Yeah, Gary, like I said, bro, I'm a little bit behind. I think he's going to cost $15 to $20 million. I don't care personally. We have the money, but I think we're going to want to we have to keep some of that money around those two as well, because I think Holmes likes to keep a little bit of a kitty too as well. I think, like, what do we have right now? 15 million? Define too much, Gary. Yeah. I'm actually over my sister right now. She was yelling at me to get off my phone. I'll talk to you guys later. Happy Memorial Day. Eve, everyone. Yeah, have a good one, bro. Get some Q in you. See you, Dan. See you. No Hopkins. He doesn't fit this new culture. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing he's not a team guy. And I've read some things in the past. Who knows? Heard Diab doesn't like to practice. I never heard that one. That's brand new. And that could be real. There's been some guys in the past that didn't like to practice either. Derek Thomas was one of them. Rest in peace. Lawrence Taylor was another guy as well. Imagine if those guys liked to practice, how better they would have been. That's crazy. But Diop was the only guy to catch passes at a higher rate than our. Yeah, bro, best hands in the NFL. Best hands in the NFL, DeAndre Hopkins. He doesn't drop passes, but he apparently has a bad attitude. He's a good receiver, but will he be happy here? That's the question. Who knows? He's on a team that's on the rise. If he was to come here, guys that sacrifice are the guys in the new regime are looking for to get. Absolutely, don't need Hopkins. Our stud will be back in 6 games. We need JMO to be one of the guys. The real D-Hop question is, did he watch Hard Knocks, and does this staff regime culture interest him? The choice, though, is his. Well, the choice is his, but the choice is Brad Holmes. Apparently they've done their homework on him. And then, so what that says to me is that they've done their homework on him, is that you don't need to watch the video. The video already speaks for itself. They already know what he is. He's a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He's a little older. He's 30, going on 31 years old, whatever he is. So it's not like he's not 25-year-old D-Hop, but he's still going to be a guy that you're going to have to focus on. My guess is the homework they've done on his attitude and what type of guy he is. They already know what type of player he is, but what type of guy is he? Does he fit the culture? Does he love football? This is a big thing to this regime. This is a real big deal. Now, would it help out the team to throw in a guy like D-Hop? I don't see how it wouldn't, but does he fit that culture? Hutch looked jacked, not like the Backstreet Boy, not like the Backstreet Boy from last year. He did look bigger. You are right, Soul Surfer. You're Rob down south, right? We have guys that want to win now. Let's go. Go Tigers, boys. Sebastian, Jose, what's going on? Nice picture that you and your son looking good up on the rocks, brother. Go Tigers, man. Playing good baseball. We need to bring in a veteran or two at defensive tackle. They might not be done there. There's going to be some cuts. June 1st cuts are coming in 3-4 days. So expect maybe another wave of free agency like we talk about all the time. I talk about waves of free agency that happens a lot. Before the draft. After the draft, you see a couple guys get cut, and then you see guys June 1st designation. So, there's going to be another wave. I can see them bringing in a guy or two. Apparently, Christian Covington, who I'm probably going to do a video on him too as well. He looked pretty good apparently during OTAs. He's going to be playing that Levi Muzirike role. They're like the same size apparently. I think I think Covington might be taller. Don't quote me on that though. I'm not too sure, but they're both the same size. They're both the same size. He's going to play the kind of that smaller defensive tackle role that they were hoping they get from Levi. People will hate to hate. That's not hate though. We're not hating. Walter Mitchell, welcome to the chat. Never seen you in there. You too, Sebastian Chose. I appreciate you guys coming in, man. I don't think I've ever seen you guys in here. Welcome to the shit show, man. Brent DeWitt. Jeff Risden was saying one of our UDFAs stay with JMO Strive for Stride on a long term, maybe another hidden gem. Yeah, that's Starling Thomas. The fifth, I believe is the fifth, or yeah, Starling Thomas from UAB. From UAB, man. Track star was running stride for stride with JMO. They say he's even faster than JMO. Straight line speed. So, you know what I mean? This a UDFA guy, could be a kid to keep an eye on. Can't say our run defense didn't suck. Ask Carolina. Cost Lions play out. Yeah, our run defense was horrific. That's what worries me the most. And hopefully, guys like Jack Campbell, another year with Aleem McNeil, who supposedly lost weight and came in and looked really good during OTAs. Apparently, looking leaner. Bugs another year. Kaminsky, I got some Christian Covington in there, like I talked about earlier. Enslow and Malcolm Rodriguez are going to need to be better in the run. Brought in a couple like good tacklers like CJ Garner-Johnson and Brian Branch. J.C. Walker back, who plays the run well. So those type of guys are going to help. Hey, what's going on, Josh? How you doing, bro? How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Hopefully you're safe out there, man. Chase Young, the bookend, the defensive end position. I love Chase Young. I loved him. I wanted the Lions to draft him the year that we drafted Okudah, but Washington took him before we could. I really think they were going to take him that year. Oh, I thought they maybe were. Then we took Okudah, whatever. That was like my third or fourth option. We took Jeff, but a lot of injuries, man, to Chase Young, bro. If we're looking at maybe a fourth or fifth round pick, I'm taking a flyer on him. But, they didn't pick up his fifth-year option, Washington Commanders. He had that crazy good rookie year. I believe he was rookie of the year, defensively anyways, for the Washington team there. And then injuries, man, knees, legs, all kinds of injuries going on. Apparently he had some type of injury where, what was it? I just heard it on the radio too, Valente talking about it, that he had a very rare injury where he was hurt in two spots in his leg. I don't even remember what he said. He goes, but apparently it's an injury that really doesn't match with the other. Like he had a knee injury, then he had then he had like an ankle injury at the same time. He had something at the same time that didn't really coincide with each other. I forget how Valente was explaining it, but apparently it was a very devastating injury. And doctors were like, man, that's a bad injury to have, man, especially both at the same time. And he's just been banged up, man. Like, when healthy, the kid's good, but, I'm not giving up anything less than a fourth or a fifth round pick. That's just me. I'm not going to give up anything less than that, man. And, they didn't pick up his fifth-year option for a reason. I understand, Gary, but Kaminsky, Pascal. But I keep forgetting about Joshua Pascal. Thank you very much, Sebastian. I think he's going to be a dog, man. He was a dog in college. One of the best run defensive defensive end defensive tackles in the SEC 2 years ago. Lived in the backfield, and is a guy that they got big hopes on, man. Hopefully he's not, and I don't think he's another Levi Onwuzurike, because Levi should never have been drafted. That's a whole other subject, man. Guy shouldn't have been drafted. We got that back injury coming out of Washington there. You're like, man, it's a big guy using all that leverage, 300 pounds or whatever, 290, 300 pounds, whatever. And what's going on with him? He's not even close to being ready. He's had surgery on that back, a spinal fusion, I believe. That's terrible. That's, I don't expect Levi Onwuzurike to even make the team. I really don't, guys. I think he's going to get cut. I think he's going to be one of those camp casualties. Unless they try to keep him on the roster again, IR him and see what they got, in year 4. I just don't know why they would. Over the caps, his lines remaining space, $23 million. I thought we had less, 23 million plus. I am happy, man. Thank you a lot, DET fan, man. Appreciate it. I think the D line is better than we think. That's why there were no big moves in the draft free agency. The defensive backs will need time to gel, but if we can go 3 for 3 over 3 and 3 over the first 6 games, we'll be okay. 3 and 3. You think so? I'm hoping for 5 and 1, 4 and 2 at the worst. I think this team is going to be that good. But yeah, I think you're right there. I think they obviously have some type of comfort level with their D line where they didn't make a lot of big moves. They brought in Covington, like I said. He's been on a couple teams, but has played well in his NFL career. He's got some starting gigs under his belt. Was a late round pick. I think he was a 6th round pick, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a guy that can be maybe be Levi Onwuzurike, play that role, anyways. And you drafted Martin. You didn't do a lot of things for that D line, man. You're just expecting guys to be better than what they were the year before, like Aiden and Houston. Houston's more of an outside linebacker, but you know what I'm trying to get at, guys. And it's just it's kind of a wait and see thing. A lot of people are upset that we didn't hit the D line, but I think it's wait and see. Brett, what guy was that? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Hey, Ernest Foreman, known as PC Payload. What's the haps, people? How about those Tigers? Like, they're playing good ball, man. It's a weird team to watch, man. Because one day you'll watch them, and they got hurt, and the next day you'll watch them, and they don't get it. They get 3 hits. But they're playing with good heart right now. They're pulling out some wins, and they're right behind the Twins. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The American League Central's caca. But hey, man, it would be weird seeing one of those teams, man, in the playoffs. Just hopefully they can get healthy and start hitting better. I'm here with a better name. I like it. I like the Soul Surfer, but I like it. I wasn't talking about your comment. Oh no, I understand, bro. I understand, Walter. No, I don't think I was taking a shot at you, bro. I was just asking. People will hate to hate. Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it, man. I totally get it, and I totally respect you, bro. Totally respect you. I wasn't attacking you, dude. Wasn't attacking you. Nothing but love here, man. Key this year is stopping the run, getting to the quarterback. We're improving that. Yeah, you got to stop the run, man. You have to stop the run. We're playing some teams that can actually run the football, just like every other game. You know what I mean? We need to get after. We need to get after quarterbacks. We need to get after running backs, man. It's just that simple. Just that simple. We can't be gashed for hundreds and hundreds of yards, man, like we were last year. We need to be a better unit defensively. Carolina loss was a bad loss, but the 1-6 start cost the Lions in playoffs. 100% it did, man. A couple games in there that we should have won. A couple games, the Minnesota game, I believe, was the 1-6 start. I think that was in there. What else? Was it Dallas? We didn't do nothing that game at all. Bad offensively and defensively. Just all around. It just seemed like an all-around garbage show. It just seemed like an all-around garbage show, and you got to be better. You have to be better, man. 1-6 did exist, but so did 8 and 2. You have to look at it from both ends. You can't just say 1-6 is where we're at, boys, or 8-2 is where this team's at, boys. They both existed. They both happened. That is the poster boy for inconsistency. 1-6, 8 and 2. It's like boom, boom. You're going up and down. Try to level that out. Get a couple more wins in there at that 1-6. One more win, we make the playoffs, and who knows what we would have done. We could have upset a team or two. We could have. Who knows, though, right? The way we were playing, nobody really wanted to play us in the playoffs. It would have been interesting. It would have been really, really interesting to see what would have happened with the Lions. And I'm not saying we would have went to a Super Bowl, but, man, we would have made some noise. Hi, baby. How's it going? That's my wife. There's my beautiful wife. How's it going, baby? Aleem was on a 20-minute show. He said his body fat was down to 13%. Yeah, man. I haven't seen any pictures of him, though, but that's good. He felt that maybe he was a little bit too heavy. He's got some pass rush ability. He's a run stuffer. That's what Aleem is, but he's a super athlete, man. So good for him that he got his body weight down. Hopefully he can translate onto the field, right? It doesn't always translate on the field. It's great that he lost his weight. Let's see it on the field now, big fella. Ubadal Baragon. Why are we so worried about our internal defense? Trust the guys. We have one more year with this. I'm not too worried, man. I'm just saying some people, some people were upset we didn't go defensive tackle. I was a little shocked that we didn't at least go after a couple guys, but I think a lot of people are sleeping on that Christian Covington guy. That Christian Covington guy could be another guy like a John Kaminsky signing. John Kaminsky came in here, man, and I remember doing a video on him. And go back and check it out. It was a Kaminsky video. I really liked the pickup. There was like 8 teams that tried to put in a waiver claim for him, for John. Atlanta let him go. He was what, a 3rd or 4th round draft pick by them, I think. He's a guy that just played hard. Didn't put up eye-popping stats, but played hard. And he made your team better. And we saw that last year. When he was out of the game, when he got hurt, we started losing football games. When he came back, we started winning games. I'm not saying he's the sole purpose for us winning football games, but guys like that help, man. Guys that got the drive, the determination, and sprinkled in with a little bit of talent, man. Covington's kind of seems to be that guy. Been on a few different teams, Houston, Chargers, I believe. He's a guy that, can play a little bit of defensive tackle, can move over to defensive end in a pinch. He's versatile. He's got some giddy up to the quarterback. He loves the game. It could be another Kaminsky signing, guy that's not going to blow you out of the water in the stats. But, man, he's just going to make your football team better. And so keep an eye on that guy, man. Keep an eye on that guy. So we did some things in the internal inside, with the Martin, bringing back Bugs, bringing back Kaminsky, who can go both ways there too, in defensive end, defensive tackle. So, we did some things. Ubadal, we did some things, my friend. I agree. We should be better in the middle this year. We should be. Martin's probably it's going to take a little bit for Martin. The thing with Martin is he plays high. He plays up real high. Pad levels are really high. He's got to learn to get knocked down low. He's a big dude. So when you're a big guy playing a big time sport, man, the thing you want to do is you want to stand up, man. That's what you want to do, man. He has to kind of like tell himself that he needs to get lower. He's going to lose some battles, but he's going to clog up the middle. You don't want him being up high, man. Just being up high, he's going to get pushed around. And he has tended to be that type of guy that gets pushed around a little bit when he's playing too high. So, but he's 6'5", 340 pounds. You can't ask for the size is there. Now it's like, can he do it on the field? Trust the process, 100%. I think DT is our biggest weakness right now. I think it's one of our biggest weakness, 100%. I can't argue it. I can't really argue it. I think defensive tackle. What else? It's really hard to say what else is. Our backup quarterback situation is, but you can say that about every other team. I like our tight ends. I like our wide receivers. I like our running backs. Our O-line's pretty good. The depth worries me a bit about the O-line. Got some, Colby Sorsdal is a 5th round pick. There's a couple guys making some noise apparently of the UDFAs. The kid out of Baylor, I guess, is making a little bit of noise. Gavin O'Connor or something like that, whatever his name is. He apparently had a good day. Sorsdal, like I said. Who else? On the defensive side of the ball, defense is, the D-line is a little bit worrisome, especially in the middle. Linebackers are still a little bit unknown. You got Anzalone, you got Malcolm, you got Jack Campbell, who's a rookie, who has looked a little bit lost out there early on. Not worried about a guy like Jack Campbell. Secondary, I'm not worried at all whatsoever about that. So, so defensive tackle, you make a good claim, bro. I can't argue it. I'm looking at Johnson with the Gibbs, who can unlock a dynamic if he can stay healthy. And I think it's going to be – I think that Gibbs kid is going to be nice, man. I think he's going to be a real nice addition. If he's as advertised, if you go back and try, watching highlights is cool and all, but try to watch game tape. You know what I mean? Try to watch games. Highlights are good because everybody looks good. To make a highlight of myself looking good out there at 50 years old. I might be a little bit slow, but I can look pretty good. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to get at there? You know what I mean? But, I think Walter, you hit it, man, with the Johnson and the Gibbs. I think we're going to be nice out there, man. It's going to be real nice. American League Central is the NFC South of last year. That's a good way of putting it. I ain't gonna fight you on that. One bad game turns this run defense to a big focus. Yeah, well, it needs to be better. The thing with that run defense too is, mobile quarterbacks destroyed us. Mobile quarterbacks really beat up on us pretty much the whole year. And then we had that bad game against the running backs against Carolina. But we shut down some run offenses last year, like running back wise. Giants, Barkley, Aaron Jones, and AJ Dillon. Those guys have been animals. We played pretty good against those guys last year. So we shut down some powerhouse running backs. It's just those mobile quarterbacks killed us. We all saw what Fields did. We seen what Hurts did to us. I even think, if I can remember correctly, which might be wrong, didn't Trevor Lawrence do well against us on the ground? I know through the air he didn't, but didn't he do well against us on the ground? I could have swore he had some decent yardage against us. So we just got to stop. We just got to stop that, man. I'd be thrilled with any of our teams playing in the postseason. Crazy that we're finally talking about the Lions and by far the best chance of that. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts, man. I know the Pistons aren't anywhere close. Apparently the Red Wings are. I don't follow the Red Wings enough. And the Tigers are a little bit of ways, man. Even if they were to win the Central, man, they're not a legit playoff team. But at least they're playing good baseball right now. And that's all we can ask with the limited star power they have. Miami, Seattle, Philly, all winnable games. Yeah, that Miami game hurt. Seattle game hurt a lot. One punt in that Seattle game and we win. That Philly game was winnable, but if you go back and watch that, I was at that game. I was at that Philly game. If you go back and watch that football game, we didn't really get on the board until Philly was up about 17 points. I think we scored early in that game on a running. I think Swift scored early. We were doing well on the ground, and then Philly started scoring some touchdowns, and then they were up by 13, 14, 17 points by the time we started coming back a little bit. So, and I'm not saying it was one of those garbage time stats. I'm not saying that, but that game was kind of a little bit out of reach earlier than people want to think it was. And then we made a nice little run, got back in it, and then Philly just turned back on the Jets and did that Philly thing. So, but I guess it was all for sure. The Miami and Seattle game were extremely winnable. They were, and the Minnesota game, the first Minnesota game we lost to, where they kicked. Dan kicked the 50-something, tried to kick the 50-something yarder, missed, and then boom, Cousins throws that long touchdown to who the hell was it, man? KJ Osborne, I believe it was. So it hurt a bit. I know the Carolina games where I didn't really get it done this year. Revenge is sweet, man. We play them this year in Detroit too, so we got to get them back. Riley Elder, what's up? How much 2 and 3 tight end sets do you think we should run in the first 6 weeks? Well, yeah, because you're asking that because of JMO, right? You're asking that because of the JMO situation. I expect, bro, just like Ben Johnson did last year. He used 3 tight ends last year. Especially when James Mitchell got healthy, you saw James in there. You saw James get more and more acclimated to the system. You started seeing him out there more. Caught like 11 balls on 11 targets. Didn't drop anything. Not a massive amount of usage, but they used them. You saw Brock Wright out there. Zylstra. This year we drafted a tight end early in the second round, who I think is going to be a really good asset to this team. But they're going to use Brock Wright. They're going to use Shane Zylstra or James Mitchell. Zylstra might get cut. He could be a camp. He could be a guy that gets thrown on the practice squad or cut. So, I think they're going to use two tight end sets for sure. 3, you know what I mean? That's a little bit pushing it there. You could see it every now and then, but Goff is big on the play action, hitting those short shots to guys like Amon-Ra. hitting the running backs out of the backfield. Like there's going to be Gibbs. We're going to see Monty out there getting hit early. So, but we're going to see some 2-3 tight end sets. If you're looking for percentage wise, I don't know, man. I'm not sure what I can really tell you, man. It could be used more than what you see in week 7 because, JMO will be back and it'll be a little bit different. So I don't know, maybe at a 20 or 30% usage. I'm just kind of ballparking, man. I don't really have a clue, dude, but we're definitely going to see it. What tight end do you think can't get cut at camp? I just said that. I should read my stuff. Yeah. I think it's going to possibly be Zylstra. I think it might be Zylstra. There's a couple other guys in there too. Derek Deese Jr. is a guy that was on the on the practice squad last year, who's a kind of decent player coming out of college, San Diego State, I believe. So, it'd probably be between Derek Deese and Jr. and Shane Zylstra. We brought in his brother too, Zylstra's brother too, to play wide receiver. I forget his name. Played for Carolina, played in the CFL too as well. Why do the Seahawks play at Detroit 2 years in a row? Weird scheduling. I don't have a question. I don't have an answer on that one, brother. It's different. You see it every now and then, but it is a little bit weird. I do agree with you. Maybe be one of the last year where our Seahawks be fighting for the playoff. Yeah, I should be at that game too. That's the home opener. That's week 2, and I should be at that football game. So that's another revenge game, just like the Carolina game. We need to win that game. Love it, Mark. We have the players that can get done. That's what I want this fan base to understand. You know what? Let's just get it done. We need to get it done. Hey, One Pride 40, what's up, man? I think our O-line coach can coach up the rookie and a few veterans. Oh yeah, man. We got, we have a good coaching staff. We have a great coaching staff. This isn't a run-of-the-mill coaching staff anymore, man. This isn't a bunch of scrubs. This is guys that love the game, former players, who are passionate, who know football. A lot of people want to disrespect us still. That's fine. Let them sleep. But, I trust the O-line coach, Haig Fraley. And he's a good one, man. He was part of the Hogs back in the day, man, in the Washington Redskins. So, yeah. Would you trade for Hop? No need to trade for him, bro. He's released. He's released. You don't got to trade for him. But would I have traded for him? Probably not. I probably wouldn't have traded for him. But, I'd at least inquire about picking him up for free agency. I just don't think he wants to play here for one. And you're paying a lot of money, which I don't really care about that either. But there's some things about him, man, that you keep hearing about him being a diva and being a little bit of a cancer, a bad teammate, throwing players, coaches under the bus, not taking full responsibility, doesn't like to practice. You're hearing these things about him, man. But he is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He's on the wrong side of 30, though. He's going to turn 31 soon. He's not the D-Hop from 4 or 5 years ago, but he's still going to be a guy that you're going to have to literally keep an eye on. You can't just not guard him. You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting. I just, but back when he was available for trade, I don't think so. But apparently the Lions have done their homework on him. So who knows? And like I said, homework, what's that? It's not video because you know what you get in video. I think it's about his attitude, what type of man, what type of player he is. And I guarantee you Brad Holmes is getting in touch with guys like Arizona GM, getting in touch with Houston GM. Man, we even have Steve Hyden here. If you don't know who Steven Hyden is, I believe his name is Steven Hyden, our new tight ends coach. Where'd he come from? Arizona. So he might be able to tell you a little bit, give you a little bit of inside information on how D-Hop is. Remember that, guys. He's in that offensive room, Steven Hyden. He's with tight ends. But guarantee you they are conversing with those wide receivers. Maybe he knows a little bit more. He's seen D-Hop in practice. He's seen what he's capable of not doing. So, we got some inside info there. There's probably your mole. There's one of our moles. Defense has talent. AG better be fired if it's – he's got to go. I had, like I said, I had an argument with this about a guy on Facebook trying to tell me that it's, don't focus on Aaron Glenn in the defense. don't make it just about Aaron Glenn. Calling me a racist because I said pretty much what you said. He's bad. It's got to go. Like, can't do it 3 years in a row. We can't start off slow, then pick it up. You got to start off hot, man. Like you ended the 2022 season, which they played great. And I give the flowers mostly to Aaron Glenn for turning that around. Player personnel, they fired Aubrey Pleasant, brought in James Houston, couple things happened. Voila. It's a top 10, top 15 defense. Who knew? You know what I mean? But Glenn can't have his defense do that again, or he's got to go. It's that simple. By the way, thanks, no fluff, all true talk. Need more of this. Thank you, Walter Mitchell. I try, brother. I try, man. I don't think I'm a pioneer. I don't anything like that, or I don't think I'm different. But I like to keep it real, man. I like to keep it real as I can. I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to placate you guys, man. I'm not going to give you a massage and make you feel good because, and whisper in your ear that everything's going to be okay with this team because it's just not the way I'm built, man. I love the direction we're going, but man, I've been a fan for so long. It's hard to think that this isn't going to implode. I don't think it's going to. First time in my life in a long time, and I'm talking years, that I'm super comfortable with what's going on. It's been forever. It's been a long time, man. And it's finally here, and it looks like we're going to be a really good football team moving forward. And I think, hey, man, sky's the limit. So thanks, Walter. Thanks for the comment. I appreciate that, brother. If we can't stop Mr. Robinson, we could lose that game versus the Falcons. Yeah, we could. I don't think we're gonna lose to the Falcons. Who's their quarterback? I think that means a lot. I think their team has improved 100%. But I'm not just worried about one guy, dude. I'm not worried about one guy. They got to worry about a lot of guys on our team. They have talent. Don't get me wrong. They got Drake London over there, Robinson, Pitts. They got guys. I'm not saying they don't, but I think that's a team we can beat, and I think we will beat them. It's up, Ben Diesel. What's going on? What up, though, Mark? That avatar gets me every single time, bro. Love it. 36 watching on 19 likes. Come on, guys. By the time Mark lets it get up to 30, man. It's all good. It's all good, fella. I don't expect a lot today. Even the numbers are down 47 in the live viewers. That's okay. It's what's it called? It's a holiday for you guys, man. It's Happy Memorial Day for you guys. So I really appreciate you guys coming in. I didn't expect a big crowd, but I appreciate you guys who's in here. Should we sign Hopkins if he's a 1 or 2 year deal, 15 million? Yeah, no, man. You can go back and listen to what I said earlier, Ben, but I'll run it down real quick for you. I'm a little weary if we were to sign it like that because I don't think he's a culture fit. Great player, bad fit. That's just my opinion. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, man, we are a terrible squad for signing a Hall of Fame wide receiver. But he's been a known diva. He's been a little bit of a cancer in the locker room for the Cardinals and Houston. It's just that his play was just so good that it's a guy you don't really get rid of. And, they got rid of him for a reason, Arizona, money issues, things going on over there. I get it. They paid him too much money. But I just hope he'd be a culture fit. He's a guy that complains about targets a lot. He's a guy that's complaining about usage. We got some weapons over here in Detroit. Is he going to be okay not getting the ball as much as St. Brown one game? Not, maybe who knows who can get more targets on him. It could be week-to-week basis. But he's a guy that is a great player. I just don't know, about signing him, man. I'm kind of on the fence with it, man. 39 watching 20 by the time Mark reads this. Let's be at 30 plus. Thanks, guys. Thanks, brother. What up, Mark? What's up, Christopher Loney? I think I've seen you in here before. No, bro. Lawrence officially. What up, Mark? Lawrence officially 4 rushes for 32 yards, but yes, running backs. Okay, then no. Then okay. Then you know what? Then he didn't. For some reason I thought Trevor Lawrence did have a good day against us, but a lot of quarterbacks did though, right? Running quarterbacks have killed us for years, just like you said. Why did I think, man, Trevor Lawrence did? Probably just because, in the past, running quarterbacks have destroyed us. I'm prepared for it. New to trade. He's a free agent. Yeah, that's it. damn near beat the Bills on Thanksgiving too. That's right. Defensively, we were horrible. That game. Goff played a pretty good game. The offense did well on that football game. A lot of people, including myself, I thought it was going to – when that game first came on the schedule and I didn't know our offense was going to be top 5, I was like, we're losing by 40 points. Man. We're going to get crucified. Then, boom, our offense was awesome. And by the time that game came around, it was like, whoa, this is going to be a shootout. This is going to be a shootout game. And it was. It came down to a shootout, and Josh Allen won it with what? How many seconds on the clock? 15, 20 seconds? Less than that? So, yeah, man. I forgot. Laporta might be our best rookie. He could be, man. I think he could be. I think it's going to be between him and Gibbs, to be honest. I think Campbell's going to be just right up there too. Man, we got 4 good guys that are capable. But I think Laporta is going to surprise a lot of people. I'll admit I was shocked at that pick. I'll admit. I hope Mitchell will get a shot this year. I think there'll be a nice duo with him and Laporta. You're going to see a lot of Mitchell and a lot of Sam Laporta. And then, whoever wins that third tight end spot, 3 or 4, whatever, man, I think it's going to be Brock Wright. Personally, I think he's earned it. I like Zylstra's skill set too as well. 4-2-5 is why mobile quarterbacks will do well against us. What's going on? Exit 88. They slip between the end and tackle linebackers and coverage on one side, off to the races. You're right. You're 100% right, man. You got to have better linebacker play. I think because you do leave a lot of holes open. That end and tackle spotter is like, man, there's big holes there. But when you got 4 D linemen, in there, though, man, they got to make a little bit more of a push on those quarterbacks. Get them to run somewhere else. Get them to, stop in their tracks, go somewhere. Cut to the left, cut to the right. But it happens. It happens. I think it needs to change. It definitely needs to change, man. We can't keep using that same excuse that 4-2-5 is why we get burned. If this is what you want to run, you better get better at it, man. And I think the addition of guys like Jack Campbell, and he's not always going to make the play, but he's going to bring guys inside, man. That's the main thing when you play football. You don't your main thing is that you don't want guys bouncing to your if you're running at a guy this way, if you're running at a guy who's running right, and you're coming at him from the left spot, you're trying to contain him. You're trying to contain. If you can't make the tackle, you let him run to the sidelines, man. You try to push him out of bounds. Don't ever let a guy try to bounce to the outside, man. And if you bounce to the outside, it gets around you. That's when you get benched, man. That's when you're a bad football team defensively. You just can't let that happen as a professional athlete, man. You can't let it happen as an athlete for one. Yeah, there's going to be guys that are going to beat you every now and then, man. Justin Fields, we talk about how garbage he is as a quarterback, but man, when the kid runs the football, he's a beast. He just is. Thank God he doesn't have any quarterbacking skills. Not yet, anyways. Let's pray that guy doesn't become a quarterback. Because if he does, he's going to kill us for years. It's going to be battles, man. It's going to be hard battles. That's one thing I worry about with that guy. Quarterbacking skills are lacking. That guy gets it down, man, one year. Man, I hope he don't, man. We're in trouble. And I hope he don't, man. Our offense will be top 3. I think it's going to be top 3, top 5 again. I got no issues with that, bro. Then when JMO comes, man, I think it's going to be even more. It's going to be more ridiculous. Big Dog, what's up? What's going on, Jorge? How you doing, bro? Yeah, man, I missed 2. Yeah, off to the races. I got you. Exit 8. Thanks. Welcome to the chat. I don't think I've ever seen you here, bro. Hopefully you're having a good time for your first time. I like to go solo a lot, man. So. Yeah, you kind of missed the DeAndre Hopkins talk, man. I'm a little bit on the fence with him. I think he's a great player, obviously, but a bad fit for this team. I just don't think he's a good fit, man. There's talk about him being a diva, a cancer. He complains about targets, complains about usage, complains about, throwing OCs, quarterbacks under the bus. He's done all that stuff apparently in the past. I just think it'd be a little bit, does he fit the culture type of deal? We go into Dallas again and it happens. Exactly. True. Just like Seattle's coming, we're going to Dallas. Twice, 2 years in a row. Yeah. You missed it, brother. You missed it. Yeah, that's another one. Good revenge game, 100%. Which 5 DBs were using the nickel? In the nickel, eh? In fact, we got all kinds of guys that we could throw in the nickel there. Obviously you got your CJ Gardner-Johnson. You got your Brian Branch who can play there. You got your Jerry Jacobs who can bounce it inside, who can play outside. Mosley's mainly an outside guy. Cameron Sutton is another guy that's played nickel in the past. Had to go out and play some outside corner as well for Pittsburgh and played it well. There's 4. Melifonwu is more of an outside guy. I don't even know what position that guy's going to play, man. Melifonwu, is he a safety? Is he a corner? We drafted him as a safety, I believe, right? Now he's a corner, so he's more of an outside guy, I would assume. I think I named 4, right? I think I named 4. Thomas seems more, the undrafted free agent seems more of an outside guy. Who else, man? Who else? Chase Lucas, if he makes the team, I think he's in for a tough camp. But Chase Lucas is another guy. I think that's 4 or 5 I mentioned, right? We got the personnel, man. We got the personnel. Yeah, you're gonna have to give him some money. I don't have an issue, bro. If they go and get him, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry about it. I just worry about his fit. I just worry about if he really loves football. That's all. With D-Hop, if he's a bad teammate, you really want to put him at JMO. That's what I mean too, man. That's a bad influence. That's why you keep hearing out there that Brad Holmes has done his homework, and I put that in quotations, homework, because that's the word they're using. And to me, that rings out or speaks out to me like, okay, they're really looking at this guy. They're really looking at this kid, not from a video perspective. You're not looking at him as a talent. You already know what talent you're getting. What kind of guy is he? What type of player? What type of teammate? So that's what I think when they say the word homework. I love the way our assistant D-line coach was preaching violence in his interview. I love this coaching staff, Brent. They're just a fun group, man. We had somebody from the front office go to Arizona also. I forget who it was, though. From the front office? I don't remember. Walter, race doesn't include being bad at your job. That's where my hater came from. I appreciate it, Walter. C's in the building. In no way am I buying into the Lion hype train yet. That's okay. Not a lot of people are. I am for the first time in a long time. Too many guys with no or little NFL pad experience, including JMO and Pascal. I think Pascal's in there, has been in there a little bit. He was banged up, but he showed some flashes. I think Pascal showed flashes. He needs to show more, though. He needs to show more. And JMO, I completely agree. You didn't do shit. You didn't do jack, man. He probably should have sat out the whole year. He probably really should have. But we did see the explosion with him. He touched the ball 3 times. Touchdown on the one, big play on the other. Was I think on the sweep, 40 yards. Caught another ball, but it was brought back. So, there's 3-4 touches that he had, because he had the sweep around and the long catch, and then the long touchdown against Green Bay, but called back. We've seen the explosion. So we're still a wait and see process, man. They do got to prove it. I agree with you. Hell, I was sold on Ebron, Davis, and Tavai. I was never sold on Tavai. I was sold on Ebron. I remember hook, line, sinker. I got sold a bill of goods on that one. Man, who we could have had, man. Oh, man. And then Jared Davis. Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. You're getting started up for that one, brother. Unpopular opinion, AP should have never got fired. AP. Aubrey Pleasant? That's a horrible opinion, bro. I'm sorry. Sorry to attack you on there. That team completely turned the corner after Aubrey Pleasant got fired, bro. Completely turned the corner. Don't you remember? They fired him, then they started winning football games, got rid of Hawk, did a couple of things, brought in this guy, brought in that guy. You know what I mean? He was one of the reasons this defense turned around. I think his firing was perfect at a perfect timing. I think he was one of those, one of those coaches that could get people excited about playing the game. But apparently he was running his own show over there in the defensive back unit, man. He wasn't going by script. He was doing his own thing. So I disagree with you on that one, OP40. I disagree. Falcons quarterback Desmond Ridder. He's terrible. Good for him. Right? He's the quarterback we're facing. I can't wait to put his, in the dirt, man. Also, only if J-Mo played against the Falcons, that would have been nice. No massage. None. 0 massages. The tight end coach came from Arizona. Yeah, the tight end coach, Stephen Hayden, whatever. So I think that's good intel. On D-Hop. It doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better than that. He's in that wide receiver room sometimes with the tight ends, right? They're in that offensive room, anyways, and they're conversing. They're conversing with those wide receivers. And hey, man, he was with them for a couple of years, so he knows what type of guy he is. I already know what type of player he is, man. It's just the man. It's just the man himself. What type of guy is he? I like Hopkins' catch radius. He can catch us about any pass. He's probably the best pass catcher I've ever seen in my life. And that's saying a lot, man. Like, he's probably the best hands I've ever seen. He doesn't drop anything. He's Hall of Famer. He's first ballot. Hall of Famer. Lawrence Rimmer almost shredded his knee by James. I remember that, man. James Houston had that sack. I do remember that. Yes. You heard anything about Rodriguez getting banged up in OTAs? All I heard was that it was a lower body injury. That's all I heard, man. He was limping around. That's all I heard. He was limping around, and they held him out. So that's it. That's really it, man. Nothing about what's his name getting hurt too. Someone else got hurt. Who else got banged up on OTAs? Gibbs got hurt, but he came back, I believe, right? It was a Gibbs? A couple guys got banged up, man. Green Bay. Branch and CJ Gardner-Johnson are both capable of supplying a mobile quarterback. They're going to need to be, man, because we can't get gashed. No more getting gashed. Laporta can shed tackles on like another tight end. I know that. Hey, man, Laporta was one of the best yak guys at tight end position last year. So in college, let's hope it translates into the NFL. That's all. We love the yak. Didn't get in the end zone a ton at Iowa, but bad offense, bad quarterback play. He's in a little bit better situation. I believe their O-line will run it back. Hopefully Big V can stay healthy. We don't have a turnstile there. Walter Mitchell, I remember that. I think Houston's best sacks when he chased downfield. That was a good one. He never saw Houston coming. That James Houston story is fantastic. C. Gerald, what's going on? Detroit Bad Boys, love the avatar. Running quarterbacks will slow down on taking off because of how physical every player and defense is. Rodgers wanted no part of trying for that goal line when they got down there. Oh, for sure. You got to remember, too, Rodgers is 38, 39 years old when he was doing that. So, you know what I mean? He's not going to get banged up like that anymore, man. He tried to run as little as possible in the last couple of years, and as he should. I think Sam Laporta is going to be really good. I can't wait. I'm excited for Laporta. Ben Johnson's fired up to use a guy like that in this offense. On the mobile quarterback situation, Houston kind of neutralized that when he came in the second part of the season. He did. It did help a lot. Hutchinson got better too, containing. The whole team kind of, that whole defensive unit played much better in the last 8 to 10 games of the year, obviously. Facts away tracks, precursor of what he can be exactly. We have reliable receivers in Montgomery. Gibbs can catch along with Laporta. That's what I love. They brought in 2 running backs that are excellent at catching the football. A lot of people think that Montgomery is just this guy that played behind a bad offense in Chicago. He put up decent numbers in Chicago, man. He's not going to mind. He's not going to blow your mind away. But I think he's capable of having 1,100 yards if he can stay healthy. I really do, man. You remember that hit from behind? Houston sack was really good on open field. Houston took him down there, too. Oh yeah, man. Him going after Fields was special, man. I loved seeing that. If you had to pick one wide receiver free agent right now, who would it be and why? Me? Well, I don't really know who's out there. Last I checked, Galladay's out there. I'm not grabbing him up. Jarvis Landry, Jarvis Landry is a guy that I maybe be interested in, just to kind of fill in, for the loss of JMO. I think the Gibbs pick was I still believe the Gibbs pick, even though he's a running back, is going to be used a lot in the wide receiver game. Like, I don't think he's going to play wide receiver, obviously, but he's going to line up as a slot. He can even line up on the outside, man, on the far out as an X, a Y, whatever we're calling these guys, flanker. I think Gibbs is capable of that, man. But a free agent, I guess it would be Landry. I guess it'd be Jarvis Landry. He's been banged up, though. He's older, but he could be a guy that could come in. He's more of a possession dude. Doesn't blow you away with his speed anymore. Doesn't score a ton of touchdowns, but he's always been Mr. Reliable. I remember him playing on Cleveland, putting up decent numbers in Cleveland, putting up good numbers in Miami, being like 1,000+ receiver. Jarvis Landry, man. I'd bring him in. I don't really know the list top of my head. Show me the list. Maybe there's another guy that I would like, but Landry at the top of my dome that I'm kind of thinking of that could be a guy. Well, all Houston sacks are good. Well, all Lions sacks are good. Plus Henry will be here a whole year. Henry. I'm having a brain fart, bro. Lions roar 74. Now that we have a true Mike, I see more of a 4-3 defense. I don't see it. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. It all depends on if they can't keep Malcolm Rodriguez or Jack Campbell off the field. You know what I mean? If those two guys are playing, because Anzalone's the starter. That's the conversation that, that a lot of Lions fans don't want to have because they hate Anzalone. And, I don't really get the hate. Anzalone isn't a special linebacker, but he's gotten better here in Detroit. And he's not going anywhere right now. He could be a guy that could get released next year or a year after or whatever. But he's not going anywhere. He's a starter. I think it's going to be a fight between Campbell and Rodriguez. I've talked about this in the past. And if those two are playing really well, maybe they could switch a little bit to a 4-3. You know what I mean? I still think they want to keep, the 5 safeties. 5 DBs out there, though. Get an extra safety, an extra nickel. I think they kind of still want to stick with that, stick with the 2 linebacker situation, occasionally drop in a third linebacker every now and then. But you could be right, Lions Roar. But I still think it's going to be basically a 4-2-5. It's a 4-3 base. So, you're not wrong. And, both of us are right. James, yes, I did get a bell cow outside of Hutch and that used to be a deadly situational pass rusher. Yeah, for sure. It's going to be hopefully Pascal can turn into his Batman. His Robin. He can be Batman, and Pascal hopefully could be Robin, man. That's what I think they're kind of banking on. Houston was going to be that situational guy, like a lot of people say. The Sun God, J-Mo, Jones, Laporte, I keep forgetting about Marvin Jones too. All in the field. Whose team going to double team? Yeah, well, you're not double teaming any of these guys, really, man. Anyways, Sun God every now and then, even though he's not a big guy, he's just Mr. Reliable and just gets open. He'd be the only guy really that you're going to double team. If you want to double team J-Mo, whatever, you know what I mean? He's going to fly by you. Jones is a little bit older. Laporta is a good, he's just a rookie. He's not getting double teamed. Gibbs, Dave, Montgomery. We don't got guys really yet that are going to be like complete studs except for Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra is a stud, is a superstar, in my opinion. So he could be a guy that gets more double teamed in this group you're talking about. The receiver line took from North Carolina, Antoine Green. Yes, there's a guy. There's another guy. Keep an eye on him. Could be a guy that wins that 5th spot. J-Mo getting suspended helps out Antoine big time. I think he beats out Tom Kennedy. Kennedy's got that NFL experience, so who knows? It could be interesting to see what they do with Antoine. I think if he gets put on the practice squad, he'll get scooped up. Any news on the UDFAs from Notre Dame? Chris Smith and what's the other guy? Chris Smith, the defensive tackle. Then there's the DB. I forget his name. I haven't heard much about those guys. No, I can't forget. I can't remember the DB's name that I thought that was a good pickup by Holmes. Stop with the Hopkins talk. He doesn't fit. He never mentioned GF as a top team. GF. Who? Stop with the Hopkins talk. Baldo, getting a little fired up. I like it. If Brad and Dan didn't care about the locker room fit or culture, we would have drafted Carter. Exactly. Boom. You're getting starred up, Soul Surfer. You're getting a star. Love that. I love that take. It's a good take. We would have drafted Carter. That was another argument I got into with another guy. Some guy was slandering Brad Holmes the other day on Facebook because he brought in Jalen Carter for an interview. The guy was like, he's not true to his word. I'm like, bro, you don't understand how it works. You don't leave any stone unturned. Even if you don't even like the guy, you still bring him in for an interview. You still have to get in his head and see what type of guy he is. He did his due diligence, man. They brought him in. They sat him down. They had a chance to draft him, and they let him roll. There's a reason for that. Not saying that Brad Holmes didn't make a mistake. Maybe Jalen Carter is going to be an all-pro for the next 6 years. Who knows, man? But I'll tell you one thing. 8 teams passed on him for a reason, and he was a top 2 or top 3 pick, right? So it's a great comment by you, Soul Surfer. I appreciate it, man. James Willis in the building. Yeah, the play that was called back was still awesome. JMO letting players know it's going to be a long day. Yeah, he threw a little bit of a temper tantrum after that, but, he's young, and, he was letting guys know. It's amazing that when you have the players win games and a coach screws it up. It happens. Stop with the Hopkins. He never mentioned GF as a top quarterback. Jared Goff. GF. Not sure what you're saying there, bro. Jared Goff? Yeah, he mentioned, like who did he mentioned 5 quarterbacks, right? He mentioned Jalen Hurts, Hopkins, Joshua Allen, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen. He mentioned Dak Prescott. Who else did he mention? He mentioned 2 more. Patrick Mahomes. Didn't mention Joe Burrow because, they're set at wide receiver. But he mentioned 1 more. I can't remember who it was. But, yeah, this ain't Deshaun Watson. Who ain't Deshaun Watson? Who's not Deshaun Watson? Huh? See, I'm behind, guys. He's going to replace Ben Johnson. Who is? I think the guy that replaces Ben Johnson, if Jared Goff is here, if he's here, it's going to be Tanner Engstrand. That's my guess. If not, it'll be someone completely different. Ebust was a risk reward pick. If he develops, he could be okay for years. I understand why you took the risk. Yeah, I get it because at the time we didn't have a tight end at all. But man, Aaron Donald, right? It'll always come back to that. D-Hop will probably sign with the Finns or the Cowboys. The Finns, eh? Waddle, Hill, and Hopkins. Whew. I still think he's going to Kansas City. I think Kansas City is going to find some type of money somewhere. They don't have any money, but they're going to find it, and they're going to sign him. Is my guess. Jamar Jefferson playing for his life in OTAs. He's playing for his life, and apparently Greg Bell had a nice Thursday. Anyways, on OTAs too as well. That's another undrafted free agent that we picked up. But Jamar Jefferson, 100%. Jorge, key member of the front office, Lions director of college scouting, Dave Sears, is leaving the organization to become assistant general manager of the Arizona Cardinals. Okay. I remember reading something about that too. I just didn't know what his name was. You said it earlier too. Okay, I like it. USFL game just got stopped midway through the 4th. Brutal concussion injury on Fox. Temp ended the broadcast. Jeez. On Fox ended the broadcast. Damn, bro. Oh my God. Are you kidding me, man? Oh man. Ended the broadcast. Oh, I hope nobody died, man. That sucks, bro. That sucks. Oh man. Oh, that makes me sick. And hopefully the young man that got hurt there, or hopefully he's okay, just banged up. He's just hurt, man. I hope he didn't pass or anything like that. Ending a whole broadcast because of a concussion injury. Never heard that. Larry Fitzgerald had better hands. That's questionable. That's questionable. I don't think he did, but that's pretty damn. That's a good comparison though. I don't think he had better hands. Gibbs is like Percy Harvin back. Gibbs is nice. George Sturgis, what's going on? Gibbs is like Percy Harvin back in the day. That's a good comparison. You know, I don't think how big was Percy Harvin? He wasn't a big guy, but he was always thickly muscled. I remember that. Could run like the wind, man. Oh, could he run like the wind? He was used like Debo. You know, he was kind of used like Debo, man. Percy did it all, man. I loved Percy Harvin. Another guy that, you know, concussions, I believe that kind of got him out of the game. Mitchell, the tight end I met. I like Mitchell. You know what? I think he's going to be a nice duo for years to come with him and Sam Laporta. Why don't teams use the 5-2 defense anymore? 5-2? Ooh. I never really heard of a 5-2 defense too much, man. You know, you kind of got those 4D linemen, and you got like maybe a linebacker kind of hovering right over that O-line, kind of back a little bit. You know, if you got a 5-2 defense, your secondary is phenomenal. It better be. You know what I mean? Because you don't have as many guys as you probably want back there. Or, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. 5-2, that's a little shady. Who used the 5-2? It wasn't Baltimore, was it? They have stars everywhere. Lions fan Haas, signing Bugs and Kamish tells me we're keeping 4 down. Yeah, man, you're keeping 4 down. What do you mean 4 down? I don't know what you mean. Left to right. Rodrigo, Anzalone, Jack Campbell. Let JC run at outside linebacker and learn the system. Barnes can sub. I like Barnes, man. You know, he's a little bit of a system guy too. He's a a developing linebacker. You know, I think, you know, him playing a lot of D-line in college, you know, kind of made him that type of player. You know, he's got some giddy up to the quarterback, showed flashes. You know, he could be a guy that might be on the cusp. He could be a guy that's on the cusp. I don't think he's going to get cut because, you know, I think he's a good player. He's probably the 4th linebacker on the team for sure. But, yeah, man. I don't mind I don't mind the linebacker core this year. Jeez. I'm excited to see Montgomery Bonner line. Yeah, like I said, man, he averaged 900+ yards a season in Chicago. Very good running attack in Chicago. Don't get me wrong. You know, they had a couple good old linemen that could run the run block. Pass blocking's their problem, and it always kind of has been. So, you know, so they did have a good run game, but you know, when you have a guy like Fields who's taking away a lot of running plays from the running backs, he's not going to have as many yards. And he still had 900+ a season. So, rushed for 1,000 plus 1 year. Usually hit 800+, averaged out to 900 something yards per season. He caught the ball a ton. So I'm excited to see what he does too, man. Traded up to take Gibbs at 1 on Dynasty League. Very excited. I like it, man. I think Gibbs is going to be big, bro. If your PPR, man, if your PPR is at 1 point per catch, even better. The wide receiver room was the same as being the last year, except Marvin Jones and the often injured DJ Chark. Exactly. Jones was excellent 2 years ago, and then Hill, and the other wide receiver picked up production. Exactly, man. So I'm the type of guy that I thought that grabbing a guy like Marvin Jones was an upgrade over DJ Chark. You know, it might not be the same in age. Their age difference is what everybody looks at. You know, everybody sees a fast guy like Chark running down the field. Oh, he must be good. Chark's nothing special, man. You know, I was fooled on that too. It's another guy I was fooled about. I thought Chark was going to come in and have a great year for us. He didn't do much, man. What do you have? 500 yards, 400 something yards, 500 yards, 30 something catches. Come on, man. That's not your number 2. That's not a number 2 putting up those kind of numbers. It's got to be better than that, man. He's got to be a lot better than that. So Marvin Jones, you know, he's reliable. He's healthy. You know, hopefully, you know, Josh Reynolds sticks in, and then you see J-Mo come back. I think we're going to be okay when it comes to that number 2. Johnny Morton, the original JMO. Morton was fun. Morton was fun to watch. I like Johnny. Huggy Bear going on. The Lions are very good in competitive tight end room. I wonder who gets cut. We're talking about that a little bit earlier. I think it could be Shane Zylstra, or Derek Dees Jr., who's kind of been on a practice squad guy for the last year or so. And then, or do they cut Brock Wright? I don't think they do. I think they're going to roll with, obviously Laporta, Mitchell, and then probably Brock Wright. We're going to be seeing guys like Zylstra, Derek Dees Jr. They might have brought in a couple other guys too here or there for that tight. I think that tight end room, man, is packed. There's a lot of guys on there. So it'd be interesting to see how many they keep and how many they cut, how many they throw in practice squad. But, but guys like Zylstra and I think Dees Jr. could be on the cusp. Do we still have $25 million in cap space if we go into the season with that cash? Only we kick himself for losing Shark. No, well, I think we have 23 million plus or something like that we have. I don't think losing Shark was an issue, man. He's already hurt in Carolina, bro. I don't see why Holmes would be kicking himself. He's probably, kind of, I'm not saying he's laughing at DJ Shark, but he's probably kind of shaking his head, smiling, going, "No, well, look, he's hurt. He had some operation. It was minor, I believe, on his ankle already. He's already in Carolina. Not saying he won't be ready week 1, but this guy's just constantly banged up. He's constantly something wrong with him. So I'm not sure that we'd be really too upset about losing Shark, man. And you got to have some extra money. Goff, okay. Sorry, brother. The 5th quarterback that you mentioned was Derek Carr? It was? No, get on it. No, he didn't mention Carr. Did he? He couldn't have. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Maybe he just wants to go to New Orleans. Maybe he just wants to go to New Orleans, man, and hang out because, come on, Derek Carr? Yikes. When guys are playing for their spots, they play better. Some do, some don't, bro. Some do, some don't. But, yes, I understand what you're saying. Quality game, and any concerns with injuries today to Monty and Rodrigo today? Well, a couple days ago, you mean? I heard there's not really much to be concerned about. I know both were injuries to their lower body, so knee, ankle. I think Montgomery was an ankle tweak. The Rodrigo one, I'm not too sure. I just know he was seen limping, so it doesn't seem like there's any concern as of right now. We'll know more when the next OTAs start up, and I think they start up soon. 4 down linemen. Yeah, okay, yeah, man. Kaminsky, Bugs, you're going to have, absolutely, man. McNeil's in there. Absolutely, Martin. So, yeah, for sure. You're not going to see those type of guys standing on their hind legs, man, like on their normal legs, like Aiden, James Houston, those guys, those guys can play upright. Lions 13 of 4 Super Bowl champs. Woo! The guy. Thanks for coming into the chat, brother. Thanks for dropping that nugget. I like it. Jorge Cantu. I've been hearing Barnes is taking a big jump. This year. I hope so. And I haven't read too much about Barnes. I know Campbell gave him a little bit of praise after the OTAs kind of wrapped up the other day. I know he was saying that he's like what Barnes has been out there. So they're using him a variety of different ways. So it's a guy that's for sure, I think, their 4th linebacker. He's not going nowhere. I think he plays a little special teams too. I think we need to use Barnes at rush. Well, he's a good rushing D lineman / linebacker. He played D line at Purdue, man, as a Boilermaker in college, and you can get to the quarterback. You hear him, you see him out there. You're right. Monty's a stud, and I keep getting this warm, fuzzy feeling about Abraham. Is this what Hopium feels like? Yeah, the Muhammad Abraham thing. I know Risden kind of came out and said that Muhammad just really, really slow. He's like, he's a plotter. He's gonna run guys over. He's not running away from nobody though. Not at the NFL level, and that's fine. He's not going to catch a lot of balls either. I don't think. But, it's going to be probably a battle between him and Craig Reynolds. We'll see what happens. Jones is a pro. He will help us. Oh, well, yeah. Marvin Jones has been a pro his whole career. Goff needs a Marvin Jones kind of receiver. Yeah, man. I thought that was a really good get by this regime. Go get a guy, man. Go get a guy that can mentor, and still put up decent numbers. I don't think Nate Sudfeld makes the team. He might not. I don't know if they still got offers on Bridgewater. They put that offer out a little while ago to Teddy B. So Nate apparently had a really good day on Thursday, though. According to Jeff Risdon, he looked good. He was throwing the ball with accuracy on his deep balls, his short balls. He was just running the show really nicely. Yeah, he had a really nice day, apparently. Backup quarterback. So we'll see what happens there. Good point on Chark's ankle. Forgot he's already hurt again. That's the thing, man. I liked it when we brought him. I thought, okay, we get a healthy Chark. We're going to be okay. And when he played, he was okay. He wasn't terrible, but banged up, limited. We don't like that, right? Yes, he did mention Derek Carr. That's incredible. I can't believe he mentioned a guy like that. Why? Makes no sense to me. What's up, Justin Chase? Ultimately, I just wonder who or what they're going to use that extra $3 million, 13, that 13 million, 23 they've got left, as I understand it. Where do you think they could see them going as far as position in a free agent signing? All depends who gets cut, bro. It's been known that Holmes likes to keep about $10 to $15 million extra. So they might only spend another, who knows, man, another $5 to $10 million or something like that. Could they bring in another defensive tackle? I'm not going to weigh that. I'm not going to weigh that out and say no. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say no for sure to that because I think they might. Don't really think they're going to add to the secondary. I can't see that. Maybe they add another wide receiver somewhere down the line. Maybe. I could see maybe them doing that. Backup quarterback situation. Could they bring in Teddy Bridgewater? So, backup quarterback, defensive tackle. Could they bring in another rush end? Could they bring in a guy like an Yannick? And I can't say his last name, man. Ngakwe? Is that what his name is? I believe he's a free agent. Maybe they can bring him in. Who knows, man? J-Mom, what's going on? Chark didn't want to play with the Lions, not for what he was offered. Same with Williams. Yeah, man. Chark wanted a little bit bigger money. Didn't get paid a whole ton, but went to Carolina. Already banged up. Williams, thought he was worth a little bit more than what we offered him. Actually, he went out and Holmes didn't bat an eye and went out and signed David Montgomery. Said, I'm not waiting for Jamal Williams to make a decision. We got put an offer on the table. And they didn't want to be here, man. Not that they didn't want to be here and they just said, screw the Lions. They wanted to get a little bit bigger payday. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to bash those players for it. It happens. Barnes and Campbell both got started up to Mill Emmert next to Angelo Rodriguez is second string to Will. Yeah. Rodriguez is going to, he's going to get his playing time, man. Barnes is going to get in there too every now and then. We saw the flashes of Barnes. We saw some of the good. We saw probably a little bit more of the bad, I would say. But he did have some he had some flash moments, man. And Campbell should start next to Angelo. He should start. He really should start. Rodriguez is the third guy, in my opinion. Barnes is not going to beat out Malcolm Rodriguez. There's not a chance. I don't think there's a chance that he will. But Barnes maybe does something better this year. Like I said, we saw some of the good with the bad. You know what I mean? And there was good and I think there was a little bit more bad though. Malcolm Rodriguez got a lot of bit more playing time because he was literally the best linebacker on the team for the start of the year. He really was. And then Anzalone kind of turned it on. Especially at the end of the year, you saw Anzalone making play after play after play. And I'm not a big Anzalone fan, but that's just what he put out there on tape. he's gotten better as a Lion, Alex Anzalone. So it'll be Anzalone and Campbell. Campbell should win. He should win a starting job. He really should. If they're going to go 2 linebackers, it should be Anzalone and Campbell. I don't see how it could be anybody else with Rodriguez coming off the bench and then Barnes, kind of Barnes and Rodriguez flip-flopping, I guess, on whatever the scheme is, situation, whatever it is that's going on in the field at the time. Because I think Barnes and Rodriguez have different skill sets. You know what I mean? Like Barnes is a little quicker. Rodriguez is a little more instinctive. He's smarter. I think he's a smarter linebacker. He's probably the smartest linebacker on the team. Next, then they say Jack Campbell's is one of those field general guys, man, that just knows, that can just read offenses too. So, who's gonna struggle? He's gonna struggle too, though, Campbell. But I'm liking the linebacking core a lot better than I have in the last couple of years. That's for damn sure. What's up, Mark and chat? What's going on, Vash? Catching the show late, but cheers, salute. Appreciate you coming in, brother. Hopefully McNeil losing weight will help stay on the field more. Hopefully too, man. Hopefully he didn't lose too much. I hope he didn't lose too much weight, man. You know what I mean? But apparently he looks great, feels great. Hopefully it translates better in year 3 on that field. Montgomery was a lower ankle and Murray was an upper leg. Okay, so both lower leg injuries, both lower body. Nothing long-term or serious, which is good. Let's hope so. I think Zylstra has a shot at beating out Mitchell in training camp. Mitchell has to show up. Oof, maybe. I don't know, man. I think Zylstra is a very underrated receiving back. Receiving tight end. You go look at Zylstra's tape in college. He was a wide receiver. He was a phenomenal wide receiver in college. Just played at a smaller school in Minnesota. And had to come in and play at the tight end spot. Got a little bit beefier. But Mitchell's more of an all-around tight end. He can block, he can run block, pass block. He's got soft hands. He runs good routes. He was drafted. He was drafted by Detroit. He's really going to have to screw up in training camp, and Zylstra's going to have to come out really ball out. I don't think Mitchell's going anywhere, man. It's only the second year, so I don't think he's going anywhere personally. Zylstra, I think, is going to be the guy that's probably going to get cut or put on the practice squad, unless they really just love his receiving skills, because that's really all he does. He can't block. We're shit. So D-Hop just on a 1 year with Stafford and the Rams. That might happen. That could happen big time. Stafford gets players paid. That's a big time. That's a big time comment right there, bro. That's getting started up. I like that. Stafford could use a guy like that. Why not? You know what? If I was Sean McVay, I'd be making that call. I'd be, hey, Les, get on the horn with Les Snead. Say, make an offer. Because he'd do well on an offense. Stafford would just feed him. It'd just be him and Kupp. There wouldn't be too many. There wouldn't be too many guys around there for D-Hop to complain about. You still got Kupp. You still got guys like D-Hop. Yeah, why not? That's actually a good one. I like it. I heard that if you need 3 yards here, he'll get you 4. If you need 10, he'll get you 4. If you need 10, he'll get you. Well, he's just a bulldozer, man. He's getting you 2 to 3 almost every time. It just seems like, you know what I mean? He's not falling backwards. He's falling this way. He's only 5'8" or something like that, though. He's tiny, but he's a bowling ball. He's 210 pounds. So he's one of those guys that are probably really annoying to try to tackle, man. He's just like little, but just tough. You know what I mean? So, but I like that, though. I like that saying. You know what? You get started up for that one. I think Brad still has one splash move for the season, either D-Hop or Chase Young. Yeah. You know what? That Chase Young 2 thing, if it's only a 4th or 5th round pick, bro, then I'll take a shot. Why not? You know what I mean? Now you got to go earn something. But Washington's probably not taking a 4th or 5th. They probably want no less than a 3rd. I can't see them not taking anything less than a 3rd round pick. They might even want more, but who knows? I heard the exact opposite. Nate's been throwing multiple interceptions. I don't know about the Tuesday and Wednesday, but the Thursday he had a really good day. That's all I'm talking about. is on Thursday. Nate had a really good day. So I don't know anything about Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't know where you're getting that info from because there's really nothing out there except for Thursday. There was some little snippets here on Twitter. And they weren't even like guys that were even in the building. Nobody was allowed in the building or on the field on Tuesday and Wednesday. So Thursday was the only media day that they were allowed to watch practice. And I seen it from two different articles that Sudfeld actually had a good day on Thursday. He did throw an interception though to Brady Brees, but he had a better day than Goff. This is just Thursday though. This is just the Thursday, and that's all I got. So I saw what Schlitz said, Risden, Jeremy Reisman, Macaron. I tried to bundle it all up, and that's what I heard, man. That Sudfeld had a better day than Jared Goff on the Thursday. That's it. So Tuesday, Wednesday, I have no idea, bro. Don't have a clue. So I'm not even sure. Yeah, I don't even know. What do you think about Chase Young coming to Detroit and the possibilities of that? I think it's not going to happen. Like I said, 4th or 5th round pick, and then we got a conversation. But I'm not going out and spending a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd on him. Starvin Marvin was a great addition. First guy, my last guy out mentality. Plus, he's a body in my temple type. Bring in Mr. Chase Young. With a question mark there. I'm not bringing in Chase Young unless it's a 4th or 5th round pick. I'm not spending any less, like I said. And then, yeah, man, Starvin Marvin was a good addition. I like it. That cap money carries over, and he'll need it for the O-line contracts next year. Yeah, they got a couple guys going to. Well, Jonah Jackson's one of them. Jonah Jackson's one of them, and you're going to have to worry about guys like Sewell coming up. Are you paying? There's going to be some guys, man. So who knows what they do, man? It's going to be interesting. There's going to be more money in 2024, anyways, even with the cap going up. And I think we go up over $100 million. So I think we're going to have a lot of money, and we're going to be able to pay a couple guys if needed be. If we end up landing Teddy B as a backup between him and Goff, Hooker will have a great opportunity to take elements from both their games as he progresses at QB3. Yeah, man. You know what? I think they need to take Teddy B or just go after somebody. I don't like Nate Sudfeld backing up Goff because I think that'd be tragic if Goff went down and said Sudfeld's the guy. It'd be tragic in my opinion. But I think Hooker is going to go on the PUP list or the NFI list, non-football injury, because he didn't get hurt at the NFL level. He got hurt at the collegiate level, so you can't put him on the PUP. It's called the NFI, non-football injury. Even though it is a football injury, it's just you don't call it that because he didn't get hurt at the NFL level. But yeah, man, I think Teddy B will be a solid backup, 100%. Derek Carr is just as good as Jared Goff. I don't think so. I don't know where that comes from. Both are kind of like, I think Carr is probably a guy that is in the top 25. I put him at somewhere between 20 and 25. Goff, I still have him around, 18 to 20. You know what I mean? 18 to 20, maybe a little bit better, who had a great year last year. I still don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, but he's earned his right. He's earned it that I'm going to give him his flowers over Derek Carr. I'm not even sure how that's even possible. Derek Carr is as good as Jared Goff. I don't even know where that even comes from. I think when Hooker understands the playbook, he might break out under Ben Johnson. Well, Ben Johnson's gone next year, so I don't know how he's going to break out. Ben Johnson will not be here next year, especially if they have a season like they did this year, last year. We're lucky. We are very lucky that Ben Johnson's still here. Let's just put it that way. Why is Zero talk about extending Jonah Jackson? Hey, man, Peter Van Larhoven, man, I would love Jonah Jackson. I'm not talking about it because, I don't think it's an issue right now. I think it's a guy that they probably will extend. I think he's been nothing but solid here. I think he's been one of the best players on this team. I like Jonah Jackson. I like Double J, man. I think, people don't bring it up enough. Maybe that's why. You know, people like to talk about Sewell a lot. You know, he'll be coming up in a year or two. You know, he's going on year 3, year 4. He's going to be a guy that they're obviously going to pick up his 5th-year option or extend him. So they could let that play out. But Jonah Jackson, extend him, man. That's the thing. We're gonna have all this money next year. There's gonna be guys that are gonna want to get paid in the next couple of years. Sewell, St. Brown, Goff if he plays well. And the boy, you know, the boys have a lot to think about. Justin Chase, Haas, 100%. I agree with just waiting to see what direction that goes, or is the offer still on the table at all after drafting Hooker, or is it Holmes planning to keep the room the way it is now? That's what I'm kind of wondering, Justin. Is the offer still on the table with Teddy B? Because I think Hooker is not going to be ready, so he's going to be like unavailable for the first 6 to 8 weeks, whatever it is, and then you're going to have guys like they're going to need to pick up another guy. They're going to need to go pick up somebody, and now you can have these 3 quarterbacks on your roster, and one of them doesn't even count. So I'm not sure what's going on with the Teddy B thing. I know they offered him money, like you said. You know, they gave him a significant offer too, apparently. What he's waiting for, no clue. But I kind of hope they sign him. They're going to work all 4 of those into the system. Anzalone, Rodriguez, Barnes, Campbell. That room is going to be solved. I'm the first time in a long time that I can say, yeah, man, I'm actually excited for that room. Mitchell's a beast. I hope so. I hope he is. I think he's that number 2 to Laporta, though, 100%. Oops. I feel like they're waiting to see if Levy can play before bringing in a defensive tackle. Levy can't play, though, dude. He can't play. He was seen at OTAs, man. He can't even reach below his knee. Like Jeff Risden was saying that he was like doing stretches. He was out there working with just trainers out on the field, though, but he couldn't even put his arms below his knee. And he's a long arm dude, too, apparently. Got those long, vine-like arms. And couldn't get past his knees. He's not playing anytime soon. I guess they were all talking or whatever, all the reporters. Go listen to the podcast, man, that Jeff Risden does. I feel bad because I don't remember the name of it off by heart. You can just search it on YouTube. He talks about it, and he's saying that there were some journalists looking around. They all kind of like looked at each other like, this kid's not ready. He's not going to be ready for a while. So, you know what I mean? Expect another defensive tackle coming in. Jorge, I agree, but I think they were adding a linebacker next year. Interesting to see how they go. Exactly. You know, it's not a crazy need right now. Let's see what Jack Campbell does before we start getting too hyped up, right? But I think Jack's going to be good. Zylstra is in an uphill battle in that room. 100% he is. All he does well is that he's a receiver. He can't block. He can't do any of that other stuff. But he's a good wide receiving tight end. He is. You know, if he was used more, he'd probably be a pretty solid wide receiver / tight end. But he's in an uphill battle. That's true about Stafford getting players paid. Good call, blue and silver. It's a good call. Hell 9,000. Blessed Memorial Day weekend. To yourself too, bro. Aleem lost body fat, but he said his weight is only around 3 pounds lighter than this year. That's good. That's okay. That's not that bad then. That's not that bad. You know what I mean? He's just trying to get a little bit more slimmer, feel better. I like it. I did then like bringing in Covington too. You know what I mean, bro? Christian Covington. A lot of people are sleeping on that guy. He reminds me a little bit of the John Kaminsky signing. Going to come in, make a little bit of noise, be kind of that energy guy. I guess he looked really good apparently on Thursday too, according to Jeff Risden again. You know, I'm going to my guy again, man. Jeff Risden said he looked really good, man. He was in there making plays, looking quick off the ball, off the snap. And, he's like a big dude too. He's like 290 pounds. He's a smaller defensive tackle, but, he's a big guy, but that smaller role. Kind of like same size as Levi. So who knows, right? Ibrahim is Williams' replacement. LOL. Maybe. He could be. I think Montgomery should be able to get those touchdowns too. But you talk to any Bears fans, they say that Montgomery's doesn't run hard. Which I don't believe that, but you know what I mean? I've watched Montgomery shred this team for 4 years. You know, last year he didn't do much against us. I don't think Montgomery, but the years prior, he was a thorn in our side, man. He ran pretty damn hard against us. Aleem is kind of like Cansey now. He's going to feast on quarterbacks. Hopefully, let's see what Aleem does. He's more of a run stuffer, but he's got that pass rush ability to push the pocket, right? Nate Sudfeld got info on Locked on Lions podcast. No, that's not what happened. He's got info on him. He got that intel, bro. Mark, will you be at Lions training camp? I'm going to try. We'll see. Zylstra's blocking was rated higher than Brock Wright's. He still can't block. Brock Wright's not that great of a blocker anyways. Brock Wright is kind of like that guy. You know what I mean? He reminds me more. Brock Wright reminds me more of that. He's a bigger H-back. That's, you know what I mean? And Zylstra is kind of the same thing. They're not out there to block. They're not out there to block much. Maybe throw their body in front of a guy, you know, but they're not going to be sitting there blocking everybody and making holes for running backs. Guys like Zylstra and guys like Brock Wright are probably going to be, you know, they're all going to be fighting for a spot, man. I don't really see them going anywhere. They're probably going to keep 4 tight ends. And then your 4 are going to be in order. Sam Laporta, James Mitchell, Wright, and then Zylstra. Those are your 4 guys. You know, Derek Deese, whoever the hell he's. I know they have not a stack, but a loaded, like a full tight end room. And those 4 aren't going anywhere, man. Those four guys probably aren't going to go nowhere, but they're in a little bit of a battle for that number 3 spot, at least between them. Frank the Tank might not make it through the season. Could have to sign Graham Glasgow. I don't want Graham Glasgow long term, bro. You don't want he's 30 years old, bro. You don't want him long term. No. But he's insurance. He's insurance, that's for sure. He's definitely insurance, and they got him that Ross Piersbacher guy. You didn't want him playing. But I think Glasgow's there to, you know, anybody goes down. Big V, Frank, you know what I mean? He's there for the center or guard position. You know, Jonah. That's what Graham Glasgow's there for. He's going to be that first guard in there. First guard in. Let's see what happens with Colby. Colby's going to supposedly make some noise too. That's what I'm hearing. But Brock Wright is more of an incline tight. I don't believe he will get cut. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get cut either. Zylstra's completion is Mitchell. Competition is Mitchell. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Mitchell's a complete different tight end than all of them. When if you watch Mitchell's college tape, he played everywhere. He was another just like Brad Holmes loves to do, man. He worships guys that are versatile. Mitchell was another guy, man. Just like kind of like Brock Wright was. Brock Wright was supposed to be like this great tight end coming to Notre Dame because he was very versatile. He's an H-back. He could play inline. He could play outside the in the slot. But he came in to a team, Notre Dame, that already had the kid that Chicago drafted. I can't remember his name. But that kid turned out to be a pretty damn good tight end at Notre Dame. And they kind of made Brock Wright kind of that second guy, kind of make him like an H-back, blocking a little bit. Just that number 2 tight end that didn't do a lot, but did just enough. You know, he was a high recruit, man. Like he was a guy that they liked a lot, Notre Dame, but they already had Buddy there. I just can't remember his name, man. I can't remember the kid's name whatsoever. So Zylstra is more of a wide receiver in a, kind of in a don't even want to say a tight end body because he's a smaller tight end, Zylstra, even though he's a big dude. Even though he's a good-sized kid, he's still smaller for NFL level. So, I think I think the duel is already going to be Laporta and Mitchell. And then, you got a good receiving tight end in Zylstra and a kind of an all-around guy in Brock Wright that does a little bit of everything. Nothing fantastic, though, but just does a little bit more than the average tight end. Use the carry over tap for signposts to keep the cap or down the road. Yeah, man, they got some thinking to do. Who should be starting at free safety and strong safety? Well, you're not taking out You're not taking out Kirby. It's interesting to me because you brought in Gardner Johnson, who excelled at safety, who's probably going to be your strong safety, I'm guessing. You know, Tracy Walker's more your free. Kirby's a free. You know what I mean? You're going to have. That's why they brought in. That's why it's a 4-2-5. You're going to see those three guys in a lot. It just all depends where they put Gardner Johnson. They could put Gardner Johnson could be our starting nickel. So I think it's going to be. I personally think it's going to be Mosley and Sutton as well as the two corners, and then inside at the nickel, you got Brian Branch who can play it. Jerry Jacobs can go there if needed be. There's a ton of options, but you're not taking guys off. If this answers the question, you're not taking Kirby Joseph, Gardner Johnson if he's at safety, and Tracy Walker is kind of that guy that you probably won't take off either if he's full 100% healthy, which he's looking good. Yeah, apparently he's moving around pretty well, but that takes some time too, right? Hope I answered that question. I feel like I did it. We both love Jack Campbell, bro, as well as Torrance. I really want the Torrance. Buffalo ended up taking him. I hope we didn't make a mistake pass on him. Frank's injury is huge for us, and most ceiling would be MJD, aka the muscle hamster. Yeah. I'm just kind of hoping that Muhammad can be that guy. Frank's injury is huge, but he's saying that his toe feels okay. It's inoperable. They just can't use it. If something happens, we could be in trouble. They don't really have an option. Graham Glasgow. That's kind of your option right now. So hopefully Frank will go down, but I expect Frank to miss some time. I really do expect him to miss time. Maybe Teddy B is waiting to see if team have injury at quarterback. He could be. That's a good one, Perry Ball. Is Frank Regnow healthy? I know he didn't. I don't think he did much at OTAs. I don't think he's hurt though. I just think that they're just not playing him. You know what I mean? They're just. What's the point in playing Frank? You know what you got in him. You know he's in good shape. You know he knows the offense. So I think they're kind of keeping him just under wraps a little bit. And then, yeah. Man, I've been almost on this for 2 hours. It's incredible. Jeff Risen is on the Detroit Lions podcast. That's what it was. I should have known that. Yep, the name is pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. So Detroit Lions podcast. Yeah. I always forget. I listen to so many of them. It's just crazy. McNeil now he's why the Lions didn't draft Cansey. Yeah, man. I think they're those two are completely two different style of players though. Like Cansey's more of a rush defensive tackle, small, under 300 pounds. McNeil's 300 what? 320, 330. Stuffs the run, can push the pocket. Lost a little bit of weight though, not much, but lost body fat. Got in tip-top shape. So I don't think that's why they didn't draft Cansey. I don't know where you come up with shit like that, bro. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand. That's why the Lions didn't draft Cansey. They're two different style of players, man. Like Cansey is a defensive tackle that rushes the quarterback. Decent against the run, but not that great. McNeil in college was like a plugger, man. He was a nose tackle. He was pretty much a nose tackle, man. Like plugged holes, could push a little bit, could take on a couple double teams, has, you know what I mean? Supposed to be able to stuff the run. We've seen flashes out of McNeil, but I don't think those two coincide with anything of why we didn't draft the Cansey. They're not the same player. I don't think we took Cansey because I don't think they valued him as high as a lot of Lions fans did. Not saying Cansey's a bad player. He could turn out to be better than McNeil. You just never know. But I just think they're two different guys, man. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know what that even means. Zylstra is down 40 pounds this year. I didn't even know that, man. Maybe looking at moving back to wide receiver. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that. So what was he last year? What was he last year? What was he last year, bro? He couldn't have been playing at too high. Was he 200 pounds? Like what was he, 240, 250 last year? Are you sure? That's a lot of weight, brother. Gotta start that up. Mitchell's going to be the number 2. Yeah. He's versatile. We have 2 Zilstras. His brother's on a practice squad. That's right. His brother, yeah. Played in the CFL too, Canadian Football League, his brother. Was actually put up decent numbers in the CFL. Hey, Nick H, how's it going, bro? How's it going? Why has every quarterback ranking I've seen ranked just better than Goff? ESPN and CBS all ranked the Lions at the 4th worst. No, man. That ESPN and CBS ranking, not the 4th worst. We were the 4th from the bottom. So that means that we had like the 28th worst. We had a good offseason. I think that's where you're getting that confused. Unless I missed that CBS ranking. I don't get why people have Justin Fields better than Goff, though. That's shameful. That's absolutely shameful. Justin Fields, we're not talking fantasy. We're talking fantasy football here. Sure, I'll take Justin Fields over Jared Goff. But we're talking football skills. It's Jared Goff all the way. That's just slander. Slander, bro. Goff is way better. And this fan base knows it. The Chicago fan base knows it. Frank was not at OTAs. He wasn't there? I thought he was there. I heard he was there, but he wasn't doing jack. Right? I heard he was there, but he wasn't doing anything. Well, maybe, you know what I mean? Sean O. Mark, can we give a shout out to the first responders? Shout out to the responders. The first ones. Not the second ones or the third. The first responders. Sean O. Doing work. Sean O. Locked On Lions podcast, or Jeff, Detroit Lions podcast, mentioned in 8-7 during OTAs. I can't remember which one. It was Jeff Risdon. It was Jeff Risdon, and I watched him do a solo pod. He talked about Sudfeld having a really, really good day on the Thursday and said that he did throw a pick, and Brady Breeze was the one who picked him off. But yeah, that was on the Thursday. Mark Malik, Super Bowl a bust. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. You need to get on here more, bro. I know it's tough, though. I'm trying. I know. I got to – it's tough, man. The CFL will start – yeah, I think they already played some games. I think they've already played, bro. I think they've already played a couple games, couple of preseason already. I think Saskatchewan played the other day, so I don't really follow it much, but it is football. Yes, I've heard our boy Shane Zilstra has dropped weight to move away. I didn't hear that, man. 40 pounds is a lot. He's coming after Tom Kennedy's spot. He was an absolute stud wide receiver in college, Shane Zilstra. Stud. Like, put up insane numbers. Was like an acrobatic catches. He did his damn thing in college. He really did. Minnesota, I don't know if he was drafted by the Vikings. Was he a 6th-round pick or 7th-round pick? UDFA? I forget. But Minnesota had him, then they let him go, and then we picked him up a couple years ago. So, if he's trying to be a wide receiver, maybe he'll make some noise, man. Because I liked him as a wide receiver, and I'm telling you, man, go look his tape, man. Go look at his tape. It's just really, really good. Toddy Grimes, what's going on? McNeil, I said his whole offseason was to work on pass rush. Yeah, hopefully, man. But that's not what he is. He's very athletic, more flexible now, down 13, but that's where I come up with this. Yeah, man. He wants to become a more complete player. I get that. But him coming into the NFL, he was just like a guy that was like plugging the holes, taking on some double teams. That's what he was at NC State when he played. He'd had some push to the quarterback. He had some ability as a pass rusher, but he hasn't really done it in 2 years. Hopefully this year he can be that guy. But that doesn't mean that's not why they didn't draft Cansey. just because he's working on his pass rush. All these guys work on that shit, bro. Cansey was a first round. I think he went in the first round, didn't he? First or second round, Cansey? I don't remember who even took him. I can't remember who even took him, but I think they're two different type of players, man. Weight and size, everything. Style of play. They're totally two different players. But I hope McNeil becomes a guy that can rush the passer, man, and get to the quarterback. That'd be fantastic because we need that, I think, from the inside. But we need him also to be a run stopper, too, because we need that, too. Zylstra's weight allegedly dropped from 240 to 215. That's significant, dude. That's crazy. So he's for sure not a tight end then. There's no possible way in the world he's a tight end, right? Is he's moved over to wide receiver? He ain't playing tight end at 215. That's crazy. Can't he rush whenever he saw on opening day and not really follow the scheme? It works in college. Yeah. Well, he's a different player. He was kind of, a lot of people like to throw out the Aaron Donald comparisons because they're the exact same size. They're the same size, same school. Cansey kind of freelanced a little bit, like you said. I don't even remember who drafted him. Who drafted Cansey? Was it Seattle? I don't remember who even drafted him. But they're, let's see what he does in the. I'm not saying he's not going to be a ball player, but his strengths were getting to the quarterback. They really were. Played the run okay, but wasn't really great at the run. I know a lot of people have argued with me that Cansey was great at the run. He wasn't. If you put the tape on, he really wasn't. Was he terrible? No. But you need better from your defensive tackle position, in my opinion. How many yards does Josh Reynolds get this year? Reynolds. He's going to get an opportunity. He's going to get an opportunity with J-Mo being suspended for 6 games. I don't know. I'll say, I don't know, man. 300-something yards, 330. I don't know. I don't think he's going to get a lot. I don't think he's going to get that much. 330, 350, maybe. A couple touchdowns. I just got in. What do you think of the Lions draft picks? Well, yeah, the draft picks were really good, man. Kind of a little bit different, a little shocked that we took a running back that early and off the ball linebacker that early, but we got 2 really good players. I love the Gibbs situation. I think he's going to be a weapon. Can't really just say he's a running back. He can play everywhere. Jack Campbell is a really intelligent linebacker that was, I think, very underrated in college. Won the Buckus Award, so someone didn't underrate him, but I think a lot of scouts did. A lot of teams did. I'm not just saying that because he's a Lion. Who else did we pick up? I can't even think right now. The Martin pick in the 3rd round, a little bit of a shocker there too. It's just a big body. I think he's going to be just a plugger right now. Take on double teams. Hopefully get open guys up. Who was our 2nd round pick? Laporta, the tight end. I think it was kind of another shocker pick, but another good player. Going to get you yak. Going to catch you some balls and score a lot, but look at the offense he was in at Iowa. Terrible quarterback situation, terrible offense. It's going to be interesting, man. And then Colby Solsdale, the 5th round pick. I like that as a versatile offensive lineman. Playing him at guard right now, so it's going to be, we'll see what happens with Sorsdale. But if you go and there's a guy on Twitter that I follow, Duke Manyweather, I believe his name is, really talks up Colby Sorsdale as the steal of the draft at the O-lineman position. So, yeah, we'll see. That's what I said. He's a nose tackle. That's exactly what I said. He played nose tackle. That's what he is. He takes on double teams. He dropped 3 pounds, bro, but he took down his body fat, took down like a lot of his body's fat down. What don't you understand? Like that's the thing that gets me with you, bro. You're the guy that you love to run your mouth. I'm trying to tell you what he is. Ali McNeil is not Cansey. They're not the same player. And I told you that he played nose tackle. That's what I said. He played nose tackle. He's not Kalijah Cansey. He's not a guy that's going to rush the quarter. Like, he's not a guy that's going to rush the quarterback. That's great that he worked on it. He dropped some fat, lost some body fat percentage, slimmed down, working on his game. But what he was in college was a nose tackle. What I said, he's a plugger that has some push to the quarterback. Now let's see if he can become the guy that you think he is. You think he's some defensive tackle from you think he's Warren Sapp or something. Like I don't understand what you're trying to say. I don't get it, man. It's just so weird talking to you sometimes, dude. So weird. McNeil dropped body fat, not mass. Yeah, he lost like 3 pounds. He lost like 3 pounds and his body fat went down. But apparently he's Warren Sapp. I don't know. Apparently he's being compared to a quarterback pass rushing defensive tackle in Kalijah Cansey. And I'm trying to explain that that's not what he is. Like, he can work on all that, all he wants to, and hopefully he becomes that guy. But what he is a nose tackle that can play a little bit of the outside. If you want to put him at the 3 tech, that's great. But he's better in the inside, and he needs to stop the run. That's what he really needs to do is stop the run, because you're still that big defensive tackle that hopefully puts the fear in offensive guards. Him being a pass rusher is just a luxury. If he could do that, man, that's fantastic. But that's not what he really is until he proves that he is. And he's not Kalijah Cansey. They're just not the same player. Like, you know what I mean? So it's not about me not understanding. It's about certain people not getting it. Like, it's just funny. The next time we picked a throw as a developmental guy, it could take him yeah, man, he's another guy that could have been a reach. Who knows? Big body that plays up high a lot, plays up high a ton. You know what I mean? Like, but I like his mass. 6'5", 340 pounds. You like what he brings to the table. But he could be a guy that might not develop in year 1. Year 2, hopefully, he shows a little bit more promise. Him coming out with that quote saying, I want to play this year, kind of spoke volumes to me, saying, well, who's telling you that you're not? Like, you know what I mean? So someone must have said to you, well, you know, we're going to sit you for a bit and we're going to watch you develop. They took him in the 3rd round. That kid better friggin' play, man. Like, you know, he took Aleem McNeil a couple of years in the 3rd round. He started. And I think McNeil could be a really good player for us. He can learn under a guy like McNeil. McNeil's like obviously shorter in stature, but they got kind of that same similar mass, right? So, you know, plug those 2 guys in, see what happens. Tampa Bay. That's where Cansey went. Okay, good spot for him. Maybe a guy like who could come in, man, and mentor him. Maybe a guy like Warren Sapp could come in and mentor him. You know what I mean? Oops. Mark, would you trade for Williams to tackle from the Jets? That's one guy that I really would trade for. You're giving up a shit ton to get him, but yes, that's a guy that I actually would make a call on 100% and say, man, like, let's go. Like, let's go. That's a guy. But I just think they're playing games over there with New York with him. I think, you know, they're eventually going to pay him. I don't see why they would bring in a guy like an Aaron Rodgers and always just ship out their best defensive player. It just don't make any sense. You know what I mean? Brian Branch. That's a good one. Christopher. I don't know how to say your name. Ladragu? I probably butchered it, bro. I'm sorry. Brian Branch. I like him. The point of the story is McNeil will play 3 tech, which is the position Cansey plays. Wow, bro, I got issues. Yeah, you're right, dude. I got issues. You're impossible, dude. If McNeil can develop into a Snack Harrison, we would be lucky. Oof, that would, yeah, that would be crazy. Became that sack machine that Harrison became for a little bit. Yeah, I just want McNeil to be McNeil. Hey man, if he's working on things, getting thinner, getting healthier, losing weight, losing percentage, body fat percentage, come on in, man. Come on in and do your thing. But if he can be that guy, it'd be good. What Lions jersey would you be interested in getting right now? I want the Jack Campbell jersey. I'm going to be looking at a Jack Campbell. Blue and silver hit a home run with a Stafford statement, but then took 3 steps back with McNeil. It'll be a rare thing for them to bounce him inside. Oh, I don't know, bro. Apparently he's the same player because they play in the 3-tech. It's like McNeil is playing over the inside guard and the center normally. You know what I mean? Normally, that's what he would normally be doing. Can he bounce out a little bit? Not 3, sure. Especially if he's working on things and he's going to get better. He's going to be a pass rusher. Let's see it. You think you know what I mean? Don't just say, well, Lions didn't draft Kalijah Kancey because only McNeil is working on his pass rush moves in the offseason. What the fuck does that even mean? I'm sorry I swore, but what does that even mean, man? It just don't make no sense to me. I've had things with this guy before, so it doesn't really matter. I got issues apparently compared to him, but whatever, man. Let's just hope McNeil turns out to be who he thinks he is. That's it, man. That's all I want. I want McNeil to be that guy. This is year 3. This is when you start getting better, right? So let's go. Martin, I like him. McNeil just needs to stop the run bottom. That's his main job. A luxury is him being able to get to the quarterback. But absolutely, yes. Who do you think our wide receiver 2 is? Well, it should be J-Mo, but he ain't here. So it's kind of and I think it's going to be a rotation, dude. I think it's going to be a rotation of Reynolds. You're going to see a rotation of Marvin Jones, Reynolds. You see those guys in there with a sprinkle of other guys. I don't know, man. Does Tom Kennedy make this squad? Does Antoine Green make a splash? Does this guy do? It's just the number 2 is not really solidified. I like the guys, though. I like a Josh Reynolds. I like a Marvin Jones. If I'm missing anybody, am I missing any? Khalif Raymond. I always seem to miss him. I think Khalif Raymond could be, more of a borderline number 2, number 3. Even though he's a slot guy, but he's got that speed. He's got good hands. He's just a good all-around player. So I think there's going to be a rotation of 3 guys for sure with Jones Jr., Khalif, and Josh. Then hopefully by week when J-Mo comes back week 7, I expect him to be pretty much into that system by week 9. Strong coming in. I seen a video of J-Mo, man, the other day. He looks like he's been training. He's a lot bigger than what he was last year. He looks like he's been bulked up and looks good. Looks good, man. I want a Sun God jersey. That'd be a nice one too. Broderick Martin, love him, bro. I think he's gonna. I'm just hoping he's just, I'm hoping it wasn't a reach pick. I'm just hoping that wasn't a reach pick because it sounds like to me, a little bit that it was. But they love him for a reason, and that's it. Jorge Cantu. I didn't say he will play edge. I said 3-tech. Yeah, well, yeah, that's a little bit outside the guard, man. Yeah, we know that. This is from AG and what he played at minicamp. Yeah, well, if he's trying to get better out of a certain aspect of his game, then yeah. So bring it back. Tampa said if Campbell was there instead of Kancey, he would have been the pick. Yeah, they liked him. Apparently Pittsburgh liked Campbell too, from what I'm hearing. Atlanta liked him. A lot of people say we reached for those 2 guys, man, Campbell and Gibbs. Meanwhile, there's teams apparently interested. Miami apparently really liked Gibbs. The Jets apparently really liked Gibbs too, so who knows? Pronounced Ladrig. That was close. That was close, bro. Blue and silver 3-tech would be a stretch for McNeil, bro. Well, he can play it. He can play it. He's gonna be from 3-tech, 2-1, bouncing inside, straight up on the center. That's what he's gonna be. He is an athlete. The guy's a super good athlete apparently. Jorge Cantu, go watch training camp. Go watch training camp. What training camp did you watch? Where did you watch training camp? First of all, there is no training camp right now. There was 3 days of OTAs, bro, and 1 day was reported. One. So I don't know where we saw any footage except for a couple little reels. We saw some reels, man, of guys coming out to practice. J-Mo catching a couple balls, Marvin Jones. You saw Gibbs out there. You didn't see a lot of – there was no video. There was no video, and there was only 1 day reported, so I don't know where we can watch this training camp at. Like, do you have a video? Is there a video out there? Lead me to it because I don't know where it is. And I follow these guys like no other. So I'm just wondering. I'm just asking a question. Do you think the Lions play Gibbs at wide receiver? Oh, I think he's going to be playing in the slot a little bit. And I think they're going to definitely do a 2-back system with Dave Montgomery. I think Campbell came out and did say that. He's like, he can't wait for Ben Johnson to implement, Montgomery and Gibbs in this backfield at the same time to see what he's got cooking. So, yeah, we're definitely going to see Gibbs lined up everywhere. Sun God is my next jersey. That's a nice one. The Martin pick was a big risk we gave up. We gave up a lot of late picks to get him. I think we gave up 3 picks. 2-3 picks to get him, but they were super late picks. But yeah, we moved up. He was a guy that wasn't rated high again. Just like a lot of picks that we had this year. It was a guy that was supposed to be a day 3 pick. We took him in day 2. So who knows? I'm happy we got Gibbs and Campbell. Gibbs is a weapon. I think he's going to be special. They're saying Gibbs looks amazing during OTAs. Yeah, I know he didn't practice. He missed 1 day though, right? He missed 1 day, and I heard Risen say that he looks the part out there on day 3, day 2 or day 3, whatever it was that they reported. Yeah, day 3 because they were only there for 1 day. Oh my God, it was reported that McNeil played 3-tech. Well, that's what he is then, bro. He's a 3-tech. It was reported. 100%, man. It was reported. I didn't see that, but I'll take your word for it, man. I'll take your word for it. I know that's not what he normally plays. Maybe they're trying him out in some different spots. I'm actually going to look for that. I'm actually going to look for the Lee McNeil news that he played 3-tech. I did see an interview or hear an interview with Aaron Glenn. I don't remember what he quite said, so I would have to look at it again or listen to it again. Whatever I did, I think I read it. Like Risen said that he was talking to him, and he was saying that he doesn't know. The only thing I remember him saying about Aaron Glenn was that he doesn't know because he's always mad. He always seems like he's mad, Aaron Glenn, when he talks. So he's like, I don't know if he's mad at me, the situation, having to be interviewed, having to talk about his defense. He's like, you just never know with Aaron, but he does tell you straight up what's on his mind. So I don't remember him saying anything about who was playing where or nothing like that. I do remember him saying that he really liked what Brian Branch brought to the table. So, and I did read that McNeil did lose weight. So I don't know if it was purposely done to maybe bounce him a little bit more outside. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see, man. So playing that 3-tech, he's a little bit outside the guard, lined up, on that kind of almost borderline tackle. Borderline tackle. That's almost it's not a defensive end, but it's just inside. And let's see if he can do it. Let's see if he can do it, man. Let's see if he can do it, because that's not what he is. That's not what he is. But if they got confident, Aaron Glenn got confidence in him. Let's see what he does. Gibbs and J-Mo in the field together is going to be fun to watch. I'm excited, man. You know what I mean? I can't wait for that, bro. I just can't wait for that. Come on, everybody. Let's get some likes for Big Dog Orm. Whoa, let's go, bro. I appreciate it. I've been on here too long, though, man, to be honest with you. 2 hours and 25 minutes, guys. I'm going to have to shut it down in 5 minutes, man. Balloon server, do you want RJ? It's kind of his MO, bro. Matt Hicks, what's up, brother? Gibbs will be used similar to Marshall Faulk in The Greatest Show on Turf. I like it. I like it, Matt Hicks. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I think he compares. I like that. You know, that'd be nice, the Marshall Faulk thing, especially that pass catching ability, right? I think he reminds me so much of Alvin Kamara. You know, a little bit smaller. Obviously, Kamara was about 15, 20 pounds heavier. And I think a really good comparison is Jamal Charles. I think he's kind of like that Jamal Charles, that super fast guy, man. Bounces to the outside, he's gone. Catches the ball in the flats, gone. Or can't you need to sober up? There's only been mini camp and OTAs. Yeah, I don't think anybody's saying that there's like a. Yeah, well, yeah. They only did what, a 3-dayer mini camp, which we didn't get much out of, a little bit, and then we got the OTAs, the 3-day OTA. That was kind of like, you know, only reported the one day. Tuesday and the Wednesday we didn't get nothing. Thursday we got some reports from the guys like Eric Schlitt, Jeff Risdon, John Macaron, Jeremy Reisman, those guys. If you had to go to Twitter to find most of it, if you go to Risdon's podcast, Detroit Lions podcast, you go to John Macaron. He has Detroit Lions Lockdown. He has that on Facebook. He had a bunch of stuff out too, man. So, and it wasn't a lot. It was just, you know, it was 1 day's worth. It was 1 day's worth. So, yeah, you're right, man. There is no training camp yet, just minis and OTAs. We know. It's all good in the hood, bro. Thanks, Mark. Hey, man, absolutely. Thanks for going live today. Hey, no problem, brother. I wanted to do it. Happy Memorial Day to you guys. No problem, dude. I'm here for a bit. I'm gonna have to. I'm on days tomorrow, so I gotta hit the hay in at least an hour or so. I hate days, but it's good. It's good because I get to hang out with my little one and shit, so it's all good. Training camp starts around the end of July. Yes. So yeah, I think we got an OTA coming up, right? Another 3-dayer or 5-dayer, whatever this is, a mini camp. One's coming up. Christopher, you got the wrong guy. I've only spoken. Yeah, he's only spoken on OTAs. Jorge has only said about OTAs, but we only got 1 day of reporting. So, you know, Nate Sudfeld looked good on a Thursday. That's all, you know what I mean? So it's all kind of take it with a grain of salt, right? At Devon, I said, no one attacked you, bro. No one attacked you, man. I just said, I don't know where you come up with this stuff, because you just compared Ali McNeil to Kalijah Cansey. That's why I said I don't know where you come up with this stuff. Because you said we didn't draft Kalijah Campbell. I mean Kalijah Cansey because of Ali McNeil, which is asinine. It's an asinine statement because they're not the same player. I didn't attack you, bro. I just said I don't know where you come up with this stuff. Take your spirit off, bro. Like, my God, dude, you get so bitter about shit. I'm just telling you, they're not the same player. Like, it's great and all what McNeil has done. I love it, but don't compare the two players because they're both two different players, man. They're not even in the same ballpark. Thanks for the great football talk, brother. I'm in the Tampa Bay area. A lot of folks talk Lions with. That's true, right? That's true. Hey, man, hopefully it's down and safe over there, bro. Cheers. Geez, that guy reminds me of the Lions foreign fan whining about Goff. Ugh. You know what, man? I'm cool with David. Me and David are cool, but, you know, he's got his thing for Goff, man. He's got that thing. I can't. We butt heads on that. We do. And I think that's okay that we butt heads on it, man. Some people like Goff a lot, though. He's one of them that really, really thinks there's no wrong. You can't say nothing wrong about him. Nothing. It's just some guys have that thing. I kind of had that thing with Stafford back in the day. I wasn't as, I think, like I wasn't as, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. I wasn't as obsessed. I don't think it's a bad word to say, but I wasn't as obsessed on protecting him. But I did. I did. I threw myself on the sword for Matt Stafford for years, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, some like him. You know, some love him. Some like him. I'm still on the fence with Goff. To me, the whole Goff situation, and I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. I just was like, you know, I hated that we traded for him at the time. I really do. But he's played well above, I think, anybody's expectations. There's guys out there that will say, I knew Jared Goff was that good, and that's fine. But Jared Goff's career is literally a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster. Started off really bad in LA, rookie. You know, obviously started like 7 games. Up, up, up for like 2-3 years. Shot right, start shooting down. Click, click, click. Coming down 2019, 2020, going down. 2021, going down even more because you get sent to Detroit, right? You get sent to Detroit. You start off in Detroit, dog doo-doo, going down even lower. Now you're starting to plummet, right? Now you're starting to plummet. And then you start shooting up at 2021 because at the end of 2021, Goff played great. Right at the end of the game, 6-7 games, was lights out, like playing lights out at the end of the year. But Ben Johnson took over and Dan Campbell calling the plays. We all know he wasn't. We all really know he wasn't. If anybody wants to argue with me about that, I'll argue to death about that. And then 2022, we're still going up on the green, right? We're going up, boys. We're going up. 2023, we better be able to stay up, man, because we've seen this from Jared Goff's career. And the truthers won't admit that. All I want Goff to do is continue the upward train. Go up, buddy. Because if he goes down, he's gone. And I don't care what anybody says. Right? Promise nothing. It's all friendly debating. Try to make it friendly. Apparently, I'm attacking people, though. Just because I say I don't know where you come up with that. So, whatever, man. Mark, do you think the Bears-Viking pact for prove is off? I think the Bears did. The Bears did for sure, even though I can't stand them. Vikings, I don't know what's going on there, man. They're getting rid of everybody because they're getting paid. They're getting ready to pay either Cousins and Jefferson. Jefferson's getting paid. They're getting rid of players. And the Packers, I still think that's a good roster. Even though I can't stand the Packers either, and I can't stand that freaking fan base, they still got a good roster. They have an unproven quarterback, and I don't think they're going to be that good of a team because they're going to have to rely on him a lot. So that's as, you know what I mean? Just saying. One pride, Mark. Boom. Thanks, brother. Jared Goff needs to play like he did in the last season. He needs to play like he did all of last year. All of last year. He needs to be a little bit better on the road, though. He needs to do some better things. He needs to be the same or better. He regresses, he needs to go. If Goff wins Lions playoff game, how will you view your change? If he's one of the reasons why we're winning football games and make the playoffs and win the division and go to the playoffs and win a game, he has to be the reason. He has to be one of the reasons. Like it's a foot. Like there is 11 guys on the field in between each unit. There's 22 guys on the field. One person does not make or break a team. One person can change a whole hell of a lot of things. They really can. And he needs to be better in certain aspects of his game. I know he's never going to be a mobile guy, so that's out the window. He needs to play better on the road, though. His road numbers compared to his home numbers were night and day. They really were. And he had a year where he did not throw a lot of picks fumble the ball, and I give him all the flowers for that. He got lucky on a few bounces, though, and because he's notoriously a guy that has notoriously gave up the football. You know what I mean? He's a turnover machine. He has been, except for last year. 1 year out of 7 years. Okay? Let's hope that trend continues. Let's hope it does, man. Like, honestly. But he has to be one of the reasons why we win. He can't be carried, man. He can't be a guy that this defense carries teams. Because he had 2 really fantastic years in LA, man. He really did. He had a great running game behind him and an opportunistic defense. If you knew anything about football, you would see that in his LA days. Defenses weren't great, but they were opportunistic in LA. They got interceptions at key moments, turnovers. They were just opportunistic, man. That's the word I'm looking for. And then they had a great running game, and he was a good quarterback. He was. But then he regressed. So people want to blame McVay. People want to blame the system. People want to say all this except for him. I never understand that. Like, he got hurt in LA, man, and that's when he kind of went down. He hurt that thumb, but now he's playing better football. He is. But win. But I don't need you to be the sole reason, because that doesn't freaking happen in football. This isn't basketball. This isn't a guy like Michael Jordan coming on the court and just draining threes all day. It's not individual efforts. It's hard to do that in football. You'll see it every now and then, but there's reasons behind those individual efforts, man, if you know what I'm talking about. So he needs the win here. And then you can get and then I'll take everything back, but be one of the reasons why you're good. Like, seriously, like, I just don't want to sit him. I don't want him to be the guy that's just going to be getting carried. And he's played great football for us, but he needs to play better. We could talk about top 5 offenses, him being a top 10 quarterback. He could have been better last year. If he would have had a couple more better road games, we would have been talking playoffs. We would have been in the playoffs last year. But our defense was garbage. It was, and it screwed us up at the first 7 games of the year. We just did. Barely beat the Washington Commanders. And that wasn't all because of, you know what I mean? And we played great offensively, but he needs to be a little bit, I think he needs to be better. And that's not me bashing him, because I think he is a good quarterback, and I think you can win with him. But there's things about his game that drive me friggin' nuts, man. There just is. And it's not just me going out there saying I want a running quarterback. That's not it. I want a guy that can escape the pocket and make plays outside the pocket. He can't do that, and that's fine. He has a brilliant offensive coordinator behind him who I think saved his career. And I don't care what anybody says. I think he saved it, because it's like this, man. It's a goddamn ride at Cedar Point. It really is his career. If you look at his career, it's up and down like this, man. It really is. And it's only been 7 years. So I just need him to be a little bit better. And he's a part of winning. It's good. Amen to that. Goff really surprised me last year. He surprised everybody. You think James Houston can play coverage? Or I think he's just a sack specialist right now. It's all just opinion. Not sure why I'm getting so much hate. You're not getting hate, bro. Just calm down. Yeah. But just because they're playing in that 3 tech, just because he's going to be playing there, doesn't mean he's stuck there. Kancey's playing the 3 tech probably mainly because if he plays inside, bro, he's going to get killed. Kalijah Kancey is 290 pounds, bro. Like, that's why he's playing the 3 tech. McNeil will probably be able to bounce a little bit outside, play that 3 tech, but he's mainly going to be in between the guard and the center, sometimes straight up on the guard, sometimes straight up on the center. The 0 tech, 1 tech, 2 tech, 3. He'll be in that quarter. That's all I'm trying to say to you, man. He's not a legitimate 3 tech like Kancey is. Kancey's playing the 3 because he's small. He's 290 pounds. That's all I'm trying to say, man. So no one's attacking you. We're just trying. I tried to explain it to you But you're telling me, you come at me and go, what don't you understand? Like a big mouth. That's what I hate, man. And I just asked you, where do you come up with these things that he's just going to be mainly at the 3-tech? That's it, man. Like, you know what I mean? Come on. I believe Goff will win multiple. I hope so. You know what? I want to edit that, though. I want to edit that. I'm going to edit it. This is what I'm going to put in there. We'll put exactly what you put, Patty. I believe I'm going to put it in. Watch. Watch. That's what you should have put. The Lions. Just don't put it on Goff. We can't do that, man. He's not Patrick Mahomes, bro. We need to win the North in a playoff game. If Goff play well again and play better on the road, I think you re-sign him. He has to play good football. He has to play just as good as he did last year or better. He has to be a little bit better on the road, though. He has to be. He just really does. Goff need a good running game to win like he had Todd Gurley. I think a lot of them do. A lot of quarterbacks need help, and that's not a bash on a quarterback either. They need those guys, man. The turnovers and interceptions are mainly what I'm talking about. He was awesome in aspects second half of the season. That's saying a lot. He was. He really was. Jorge, we've argued about it. He really was. He played good football last year. Did he get lucky a little bit? And not some of those balls were in defenders' hands. You know what I mean? And they didn't make the play. Come on. You know what I mean? Let me check something. I think my wife's texting me. Let me just get on it, guys. But I should have been off 10 minutes ago, but I'm having fun. Right? I just texted her back. Thanks, guys. Lines need to come out strong. Mark, what's a 3-tech? Good question, Perry Ball. Okay, that's when a defensive lineman, mainly. You'll every now and then you could see a defensive end. I think even Hutchinson played inside sometimes. Is a 3-tech, okay, is where you see a defensive lineman, mainly if it's a tackle, nose tackle. You don't really see a nose tackle do it. That will play on the outside shoulder of a guard. Usually, right? That's the 3-tech. And you got the 2-tech, they come inside a little bit more, and then the 1-0, they just it kind of goes, and then you got your rush ends that just stay out there. But a 3-tech is a guy that will play literally on the outside of a guard. So you know what I mean? So he comes on the outside of the guard, has a little bit wider stance, trying to get to the quarterback more. No, not necessarily worried about what's coming inside between the guard and the center. It's a guy that's usually, you might see some stunts in a 3-tech with Aiden coming through like that. But a 3-tech is a guy that's playing on the outside of the guard, man. That outside shoulder. Because he's coming on the outside. He's going to try to do a swim move. He's going to try and get skinny. He's going to try anything, man. He's going to try to rip his way through that offensive guard. Trying to get on his if he's on the left, he's trying to get on that right guy on that right shoulder of that guard. He's trying to beat him on the outside. Usually, that's what a 3-tech is, man. And it's usually for a defensive player that is usually not a run-stuffing player. So, and I'm not saying Aleem's not a run stuffer, but he can. But he's supposed to be that run stuffer. But that's what that 3-tech is. I hope I'm explaining that right, man. And I'm in here too much, man. I'm on here too long. Like, I can't believe I'm still on here. You guys, I love you guys. You guys make me excited. Been with the Honolulu Blues since 1970, and this has been the most fun off season yet. Is that you in the picture? Does anybody ever told you, bro? I don't know if that's you. You look like Kyle Brandt from Good Morning Football. You really do. Bolga Grias, what's going on, friend? What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good times, brother. Thank you, Soul Surfer. The defense has actually improved every year since Stafford left. Ooh. Well, maybe some of it, right? Some years, the last, couple with Matty P, I think it was decent 1 year. Then he was bad, but the last couple years under Glenn, it's been like 2021, bro, was unwatchable. That was an unwatchable defense. And then at the beginning of 2022, it was unwatchable. I literally was making videos thinking we were going to win 2 games, man. Like 2-3 games. I was like, this sucks. You look just like him, bro. Like it's crazy. Is that you in the avatar? You look just like Kyle Brandt right there from Good Morning Football. That's nuts, man. Mark, can you do a show about explaining different texts on the D line? I can try and do that one time for sure. Maybe I'll make a video about it one day, but I'll do that, bro. I'll 100% do that, man. I'm not Johnny Coach over here, but I know mostly about football. I think I don't get everything right, but that's what a 3-tech is on that outside shoulder of the guard, man. Defensive tackle. That's going to try to get to the quarterback. Boom. Try and beat him. Trying to beat him with that outside shoulder. And sometimes they'll even shoot inside sometimes, but they're just lined up. That's where they're lined up. So basically, that's it, man. So Crew Dog, what's up, guys? I gotta go. The nose, 2 gaps. So the next defense plays 3-tech occupies the gap between the tackle and the guard. That's another explanation too. Yeah. Basically, though, is what it is. Yeah, it's that guy, that defensive tackle mainly. It could be a defensive end too that kicks inside. I think Hutchinson might have even done it last year a little bit, man. But a defensive lineman, he will position himself on the outside shoulder of the guard. That's kind of explains it in an easier way, man. Yeah, but Blue and Silver's right. He occupies the gap between the tackle and the guard because the tackle's there and the guard's right here, and then they're almost in the middle of those guys, but on the outside shoulder of the guard. It could be right in that gap too. That's the 3 cap. That's if you want to be technical. Boom, name that the 3 gap. You know what I mean? So that's it, man. Hopefully I explained it. Hopefully I didn't get it right. Blue and Silver. I didn't mean anything by that, man. Sorry that I came to that again. All right, that's under the bridge. Screw that shit, man. We all got to go along on this, but I got to go. I got to kiss my family goodnight. Peace, guys. Check out some videos. I got some videos coming out. So thanks a lot, guys. One pride. Go Lions. Woo. Peace out. Let's go. I'm gone. It's going to end.